I've had enough caffeine to kill a horse. Let's make some money. And it all starts with squeezing a lemon again and again and again and again and again. $4 each. But then I can reinvest my earnings into buying more lemons, which gives me more lemons per squeeze. We're up to $5 per click, which unlocked his newspaper delivery. I'm gonna buy as many lemons as I can right now, and each one we buy is gonna cost more and more money, but it's gonna be worth the investment. Because already we're up to $16 per click, and look at that money go up. I didn't even notice things like the oil company for $25 billion. We're gonna make so much money. And apparently we just unlocked something else for spending all that money on lemons, so now it goes twice as quick. So we're now making much more money. There we go. Look at that. We're up to $300 already. And this is why it's good to have an auto clicker. There's $1,000. I can just sit here and wait. Oh, we can hire a manager to do it. As much as I love torturing myself, we're gonna make it a little easier. I replaced my auto clicker with a person. This is great. But the auto clicker does never whine. And we don't have to feed it. And also, I'm still very much going to torture myself today. Let's reinvest it all in the lemonade stand. Now it has turned into an ever-moving line, but we're making so much money just off of lemonade so far. We haven't even got the second or third thing. And it looks like the more times we use all of the things, the faster they're going to work for us. And if we get very, very rich later, we can buy the moon for $100 trillion. And considering we've already made $25,000 off of just a lemonade stand, I think we're going to get there. So let's reinvest $30,000 into lemonade and watch the money go up. There's $2,000, $3,000. We can afford pizza delivery. We're maybe going to start a newspaper delivery because between the two of these, that'll be easy money. I'm already making more money than I can even spend on newspapers so far. We're going to need a lot of upgrades, so auto clicker to the rescue. The newspaper manager costs $15,000, so that's going to take like 15 seconds? No wonder these guys are always so happy. Look how much money they make. I looked away for 10 seconds and we're up to $30,000. Let's get a newspaper manager. I just realized we have a lemonade manager. Imagine that being your job in life, you manage a lemonade business. But upgrades here are also very expensive. These cost $4,000 each, $5,000 each, $6,000. But we've just doubled the speed of lemonade stand profits for getting them all the way to level 100. This one probably needs to hit level 50 before it gets its upgrade. Already, upgrades are costing $25,000 each. Now they're $32,000. But I'm committed to turning this into 50. I don't really know why, but we're gonna do it. That could basically be the summary of my entire existence. And if we restart our business, we get an extra bonus. So prestiging is an option, but given that we're 2 businesses in, we're not going to do it just yet. There is level 50 for the newspaper business, and we got an offer that we're not going to take. Either newspaper business times 2. There we go. Look at that money go up. It's like $10,000 every 2 seconds, which probably means we should buy another 26 upgrades for the lemonade stand. Mostly just because we can. All this money really makes me want another coffee. Speaking of which, why is there no coffee shop option? Everyone knows that's a license to print money. Okay, these are gonna get a lot slower than I thought. I was expecting light speed lemons like this, but every time I click, that's a lot of waiting. How much for the manager? Runs car washes for $100,000. You can have that disaster, my friend. That's all you. And I can afford a lemonade upgrade for $250,000. I don't know how much money I have, but that sounds good to me. I wonder if I can hurt my computer just making numbers get bigger at a stupid rate. Anyways, we need to see a little bit more speed out of whatever this thing is. Look at that money fly. Speed of car wash profits times 2. It's definitely slow, but every time it touches down, we get a big burst of money because that adds basically 10% right now. And I'm going to make a new rule that I'm not going to buy the next business until I can afford the next manager because I don't really want to click anything myself. Mama Sean, we're buying you and we don't even own the business yet. Pizza delivery costs $8,640. So I'm going to spend $611,000 on it. And boy, is it ever slow. We're only level 21. But it's going to get us a lot of money every time it touches down. $90,000 just for making that bar go by. So already we're up to $650,000 again. So let's throw another $1 million or so into the newspaper business, which only got at 8 levels. Right, I'm maybe going to do the car wash next because I kind of want that to hit level 50. So even though we're making money at a stupid rate already, it's still going to take a long time to get any of these upgrades. We could afford a shrimp boat though, but the shrimp are going to have to wait. I'm going to buy the donut shop first and I need to make sure I can afford a donut manager. Jim Thornton, 1.2 million. I'm going to buy you again before the business itself. Then we start enrolling. That makes me 155,000 per tick. Actually, my next upgrade is going to be this one because that's going to hit 25 and that should double its speed. There we go. The money's going faster than ever before. Look at these fun numbers. Admiral Snack Bar can make the shrimp boats 99.999% cheaper or 750 octotrillion. Are these even real numbers? I hope they are. We're going to get there eventually. While we were admiring the good Admiral Snack Bar, we made enough money to get my car wash up to level 50. which means it's gonna go even faster now. $28,000 every tick. Realistically, we're making so much money already that I'm gonna leave this on the buy max option. That way every time we buy something, we invest all of our money in it. Like the donut shop. That went up to level 18 already, but look at the money it's gonna make us. Basically $1 million every this much. I think I also want to buy 38 lemonade upgrades to hit 150 because that's not gonna be a bonus at all. Never mind. That's really not a big deal because we've already made our money back. There's $4 million already. We're gonna get numbers all the way across the screen soon. Just waiting on times 7 for the donut shop. And that alone is gonna cost us almost $10 million, but it's worth it. The shrimp boat costs $2.5 million, so the manager is probably pretty expensive. Forrest Trump. $10 million. Look at all of these upgrades though. Car wash profits times 3 for $1 million. Yes, please. That one for $5 million, apparently we have that, and this one for $500,000. So we're up to about $100,000 every second, which seems like quite a lot, but that also makes me really excited for where we're going. I don't know what's so satisfying about just sitting here watching numbers get bigger, but it is. Forrest Trump, $10 million, you're mine, and you don't even have a boat yet. So I guess we should probably get him one of those. That's going to give me 3.11 per click. It's very slow, but very profitable. Level 8 already. We'll see if we can hit level 10. It's already going to give us 5 million per tick. Level 10 didn't give us a bonus. I guess we'll have to just settle for $6.8 million per minute. A few short minutes and $37 million later, we can afford some new upgrades. Let's fix our shrimp boat up for $25 million. Plus a donut shop for another 10. So now this is gonna get us $20 million per tick. Even the donut shop is up to 4 million. And we finally have enough to buy a hockey team, whose manager costs a modest 111 million. We might have to buy some new upgrades before we're gonna get a hold of that. Actually, we can afford enough for 55 million to put the pizza up to level 50, which is gonna make profits times 2. And that's worth it. Every time we invest a bit of money, this means we make more and more money quicker. Just like in real life. But instead of actually investing my money, I invest all my time into playing games like this for some reason. But one day I will have a monocle. That didn't take any time at all. We have 170 million, which means we're gonna buy Don Sherry for 111 million. Then we should probably also buy him a hockey team to manage. Then we get warps, which use a time warp to get us instant profit apparently. Here are a couple on the house, thank you, but I'm gonna save those for when we're really making money. And yeah, that does seem a bit ridiculous when we're making $1 million every few seconds, but I'm a ridiculous kind of person. The hockey team does take a full 6 minutes and change, but it's gonna get us 22 million every time it does. That's actually pretty slow. We're gonna need a few upgrades to get that making money. It would definitely be fun to have something like the newspaper that's that fast, making a stupid amount of money. $10,000 per this thing is pretty good. We can do better. So let's drop it 114 million on a little upgrade. Now it makes $16,000, so it's already making over 50% more money. And then it's only 10 levels away from its next upgrade, which will only take like $100 trillion. I just realized that maybe before I spend a whole bunch of money on newspaper upgrades, I could upgrade my shrimp boat because that will hit a new level for $134 million. Now it goes twice as fast. And every time it touches down at its super speed, we get $50 million out of the deal. You think this would be worth the investment? If we upgraded this 7 times for 188 million just before it touches down? I'm thinking probably not, so we're maybe gonna do it. I'll wait till there's 5 seconds left and we're gonna see if we make our money back. I accidentally clicked that with 45 seconds left, but that only earns us about 70 million extra, which sounds like a lot, but it's not worth it for the amount of time. So it's back to the waiting game. We'll get our donut shop to level 50. And as we get 48 million from our shrimp boat, we can upgrade our donut shop all the way for 228 million. But that means it's 2 times the profit now. I think this is our single most profitable item now because that's $8 million every time it touches down, which only takes a total of 4 seconds. The next manager for the movie studios, Stefani Spielberger, costs $555 million, which is still more than we have. But we're going to need to upgrade some other things first, like our newspapers to level 100. $350 million upgrade, but look how quick that goes. $18,000 every one of those things. I kind of want to upgrade our donut shop, because it's already giving us $8 million per 4 seconds. So if we do that, we're getting $8.5 million per 4 seconds, 8.7 million. I feel like this is going to make us pretty rich pretty quick. Correction, it is 8.7 per 5 seconds because 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, it waits a second after it hits 0. Clearly this game thinks I have a lot of time on my hands. Anyways, the movie studio is going to be 180 plus 550 for about $750 million, so we're going to wait for that. Just kidding. I figure if I buy the movie studio for 180 million and click it once, it's going to take 25 minutes to touch down anyways. We don't even need to buy a manager for that yet. 25 minutes. And the bank is going to cost $2 billion, whereas the oil company is going to cost $25 billion, so we still have a ways to go. To put this into perspective, we already have $413 million and we can buy 2 upgrades for the movie studio. So let's milk all we can out of these small thriving businesses. In 13 more levels, that's going to be going at twice the speed. Upgrading this car wash is going to get expensive. Bringing it up to level 91, another 3 levels is already costing $250 million. But that's going to be a pretty profitable car wash. For the first time, we hit $1 billion. And that's still not enough to upgrade my car wash to 100. And yeah, it would be faster to be upgrading it along the way, but I like the big dramatic one shot. Finally, we're able to bump that up to level 100. So we're going from making 142,000 every 3 seconds, making 162,000 every 1 second, or thereabouts. I know it's fast enough to not get a reading on the scale anymore. While we're at it, let's upgrade the lemons to see if there's another upgrade at level 200, and there is. The lemons are going twice as fast. So now we're making, I don't know how much money, millions and millions and millions of dollars per second overall. The big question now, do we want to triple our hockey team's profits for $500 million? It's just money. $500 million, that's nothing. So it's now making $268 million per 7 minutes or something. But I feel like that still pales in comparison to what these guys are actually making. They're smaller amounts, but they're so much faster. I've really got to focus on upgrading these. I decided to reinvest some money into that hockey team of mine, and look what we could do now. Another 4 levels? 559 million per tick, but the speed did increase. So it's 600 million every 3 minutes or something thereabouts. A short time later, we can upgrade our shrimp boat to level 50, which means profits times 2. Look how quick it's going to go now for almost $100 million. 23 seconds for $100 million. Next, he's going to be trying to get that hockey team up to level 50 because it's already giving us $559 million per cycle, but it's crazy expensive at $161 million per upgrade. Magically, we're up to $5.6 billion, which is enough to buy the bank. But instead we're going to spend it on 4 upgrades to pizza to bring that up to level 100. And you might be asking if that was a wise investment, but if you've ever had pizza, you'd understand. Plus, it's making me $1.3 million every 2 seconds. And thanks to that upgrade, we very quickly earned another $2.3 billion, so now we can unlock the bank, which is going to get us $1 billion every hour and 3/4. So that's a long time to wait, and the upgrades start at $2.3 billion. And here I am, dreaming of unlocking the moon for 100 trillion. But don't worry, I've got oodles of time. We'll just keep on upgrading things until we're making $100 trillion a second. I just touched the time warp it gave me and it gave me $112 billion. I thought I'd get a few billion out of that. So that kind of jumped me ahead. We've got a lot of money to invest. First thing I'm going to do is buy some managers, at least this one for 500 million. That way I don't have to click the movie button anymore because I'm far too busy for that. Well, maybe also buy the bank manager because he only costs $10 billion to Dark Lord. And then while we're at it, I guess we're going to unlock the oil company, and that's going to leave us still with $20 billion left over, and we get 5 gold, which looks like it's used to buy boosts. But I'm kind of doing things the painful way today. The oil, by the way, takes 10 hours to do, but it's going to give us $90 billion by itself. Things are definitely getting expensive fast because even with $20 billion, I can upgrade my pizza place 7 more times. That's it. I can't even get my donut shop to level 100 with that. So I think what I am going to do is maybe upgrade my movie studio to level 25 because that's going to be the single best investment I can make right now. Plus, as soon as I save up $10 billion, I can upgrade its profit 3 times. As soon as I manage to get this bank triple profited and maybe up to level 50, it will pay for so many more upgrades and jump me way ahead. I'm here just patiently waiting. We're up to almost $7 billion and I need 10 for the next upgrade, but it's gonna make a big difference. But things are growing quickly because we have $7.1 billion currently and our lifetime earnings are $145 billion. But the more we upgrade, the more this session is gonna grow. It's gonna go bigger, quicker. Plus, I'm pretty sure for every upgrade we buy for the movie studio, it's gonna increase the profits by $1 billion per click. And if you ever have the opportunity in life to increase anything by $1 billion per click, do it. And I'm playing this really exciting game with myself to see if we're going to get $10 billion before the 7 minutes and 45 seconds is up. So I basically sit here and watch one number get smaller and one get bigger. I couldn't imagine why people say there's something wrong with me. It worked. I looked away for a second. We're at 11 billion. So a small $10 billion investment means that in 4 more minutes, we're going to get $7.5 billion back. Wait, only another 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Such excitement. And look what we got. Just before it's about to expire, we're going to spend $2 billion, and that's going to give us not nearly as much extra as you would have thought for $2 billion. Remind me not to upgrade this ever again. Maybe the shrimp boat is where we should be spending all of our money. That added an extra 5 million for every whatever it takes. And I again don't really know what we're earning per second, but it's the average of some millions, maybe even tens of millions at this point. It's pretty quick. Well, I guess it did still give us $7.8 billion, so we've got some upgrades to choose from. Now for things like the bank, we're going to wait till it's much closer to being done before bothering to sink any money into that, because it doesn't matter if we do it when the bar is here or over here. I'm thinking we either get the hockey team to level 50 or the shrimp boat to level 100. In either way, that's going to be extremely expensive and time consuming. Our $8.8 billion is only going to get us 17 levels here, but that's probably worth it because that's going to give us $1 billion every 3 minutes and 11 seconds. That's actually very, very good. Plus, we're only 4 levels away from level 50, so that profit's going up. By the time it's almost ready to pop again, we can afford one more upgrade, which isn't going to make a huge difference, but it won't until we hit 50 anyways. Alright, we very patiently waited away up to 2.4 billion, which is enough to get my hockey team up to level 50, which means it's going twice as quick. So it's now earning us 1.1 billion every minute and a half, which means we're generally pretty rich, but we still need to do better. I think we should upgrade the bank. They just print money anyways, so currently they're giving us $1 billion per whatever. Now they're giving us $2 billion for whatever, so every time we upgrade that, an extra $1 billion is coming our way. We just have to wait over an hour for it. The trick here is that the more expensive businesses are worth it, you just have to wait so long to see that reward. But since our film studio just bumped us up to another $10 billion, let's see if we can start working on this bank. So if we add 3 levels to that, that's worth an extra $5 billion. So we get about half our investments back worth. So maybe I'll just try and grind out the bank to 25 and the film studio to 50. What am I saying? Try and grind something out? I will grind it out. Mostly because I don't really have a choice. I don't have a life. Well, at least at this point, after several hours, it's not too hard to grind up another $10 billion. It is, however, very easy to spend it. Here's 2 upgrades. But don't you worry, once that hits level 25, it'll only take like 4 hours to get the money back. Actually, no it won't. Since we have everything unlocked and nicely upgraded, let's use another warp, which is giving us $350 billion. That's pretty easy. So instead of buying max, I'm gonna do things like upgrade this to level 50 while we have the money to do it. That's pretty expensive in itself, but movie studio profits times 2. Plus, we're going to buy gold-plated vaults, which is going to triple our bank profits, and that's going to cost us $50 billion. But now when that bank's ready to go, $22.5 billion. And look at that, we have perfectly enough to get it to level 25 if we spend $137 billion on it. All of our upgrades are getting into the trillions now, and that's a little bit disheartening. But also by happy coincidence, we can buy exactly enough to make the donut shop hit level 100, so we're going to do that. Which was also a pretty good upgrade, because now every 3 seconds, 15 million. So our money is going up and up and up. And it's hard to really get a scale for that because this isn't billions, but this is hundreds of millions. So 297 million, 314 million, 316 million, you get the point. We could spend 34 billion getting the lemons up to level 300. But is it worth it? No, lemons are way too small. Next, I think I want to just buy 2 upgrades for my oil thing, and probably one for this. Because just between these 2, that's a lot of money. But because things are still too slow for my liking, only 26 billion left over, we're going to use the warp one more time. For 909 billion, we're almost at $1 trillion, which really makes me see how long it's going to take to get through this game. I think unless you're buying upgrades, you're not going to get very far very fast. But we're going to buy another 22 upgrades for this, because then we're only 2 away. And I don't think it's going to take us that long to make up the 86, probably $200 billion we're going to need to do that. Our session earnings by now are only 1.5 trillion. So I've got to earn a lot more if I'm going to get that moon. If we were to restart right now, we would get 2% plus 0.48% per angel, so we get 4.5%. Not worth it yet. So in order for a lot of these to hit their next level, the car wash for example, I would need $1.2 quadrillion. I'm not really sure how big that is, but I'm pretty sure a quadrillion comes after a trillion. So I need 1,200 trillions to get one single upgrade to that. And that actually really excites me because I like games with a lot to work towards. The ones you can finish in a few hours, not as good. The most realistic one that would do the best for me right now is spending 2 trillion on the hockey rink. Because that would give me well over $1 billion every 30 to 45 seconds. That would be the kind of progress I need. But for now, I'll settle for this one every 7 minutes, giving me $13 billion. Eventually that will add up to something useful. And later on, we can even get a new currency called megabucks. 1 megabuck costs $1 decillion. decillion. I don't even know how to pronounce that because that's basically a made up word to people like you and me. Unless we're playing a clicker game, then those numbers are fairly easy to get once we work our way through the billions, trillions, and whatever comes after that. Can you believe it's only going to be another 21 minutes before I get $158 billion? I'm having another one of those amazing races where I'm trying to get $93 billion before the next 20 minutes so I can upgrade this to 50. There's literally no point in me doing that. I just need something to entertain myself with. I guess in theory that will cut in half the time for next round. Well, here it is, the moment I've been waiting for. We're about to get $158 billion. Unfortunately, we couldn't get our level 50 upgrade because we're still out by 10 billion, but I'll take this amount of money. And that makes me sad, because we're up to 241 billion and we can't really get a lot of meaningful upgrades. We can buy this one, which is going to cut the time in half. So now every 25 minutes, we get 161 billion. But again, that's every 25 minutes. But I mean, I've got time if you do. Let's spend 146 billion on upgrades for this guy. There we go, another 160 billion dollars, which brings us up to 260 billion. So now we basically wait another 25.5 minutes for that to happen again. Wow, you wouldn't believe how fast time flies when we're sitting here watching numbers go up. But also there's another 160 billion, which puts me up to 521 billion, or a little over half a trillion, which does sound like a lot because 521 billion is a lot. But that means I only have enough to upgrade one of 3 different things currently, none of which are really worth my time. What I really need is $1 trillion to buy Monopoly. That means all profits times 3. And what's that gonna take? Only another hour? 1 short hour later and we're back over $1 trillion. And I tell you, each minute gets even more exciting than the last. But now we can finally afford something that's really gonna help. All profits times 3. So that really knocked the time down on a lot of things. Look at everything moving. Where we still have $45 billion to our name, and I feel like that's going to jump up pretty quick. Because this one's up to 55,000 all by itself, even these ones, 46 billion here, 483 billion just for getting through 24 minutes. And in 6 hours and 50 minutes, and most of us are waking up to start our day, I'm going to get $445 billion. And what am I going to spend it on? Making more money. Things are definitely much faster though. We're already up to 95 billion. Now, with our $102 billion, we're gonna buy a manager, Derek Plainview. That way he can hopefully continue to make me money until I want to pick this game up again. But I feel like we made over $1 trillion and that's a pretty good place to start. Next time, the moon. This man likes potatoes. We make money with potatoes. Therefore, we're going to bury his entire existence in potatoes. We've got so many potatoes, we need more land. Then we're just going to go ahead and borrow from a neighbor's state. They probably won't miss it, it's just land. The faster I click, the more I make. So, +5 magic potions. We'll feed them to the peasants to see what they do. Oh, well it turns out if I want to use the potions, we get a comrade boost times 7,777 for 20 seconds. I don't want to boost these guys, I want to make them earn their potatoes. And these guys thought they had it before. They've never seen anyone anything like me. Because if the people working for you are smiling, they're not working hard enough. But we don't have enough misery yet, so we need more farmers. We need lots of farmers. More farmers equals more potatoes equals more suffering equals more farmers. We've done so much grade A communist farming that we've unlocked the bronze potato medal for 5 potions. The next upgrade costs 13,230 already. Luckily I'm lazy and have an auto clicker, so we're gonna get there really quick. After that, the upgrades start to get pretty expensive, but we're getting 343 potatoes a click so far, so I can live with this. And we all know there's only 3 things that matter in life: potatoes, land, and ore, the building blocks of great empires. Unibrow even confirms it. If we grow enough glory, you can buy more prestigious industries. What could be more glorious than potatoes? And they say I lack vision. 2,400 potatoes per click, and it's still gonna be a little while before we hit the 6 million we need. But we get a free 1 farmer per second and 1 comrade per second. Ooh, these guys really look like they're not going to enjoy things. Farmer comrade's not even smiling already. Let's put him to work. We earned a bronze medal from exploiting that guy's hard work, but we're just going to keep making him work and work and work pretty much until he dies. Then we'll replace him with a younger, better worker. And we'll repeat the process until no one's left. These communists really have it figured out. We've already got 140,000 ore. So we're going to bump that number up to about 400,000, upgrade that, and then move on to weapons. Every communist deserves some good weapons. Now he's happy again. Yeah, just think about all the fun stuff you could do with that. Between the weapons and the potatoes, these guys are in for a good time. I don't know if I should give them more bullets or more potatoes. It's a little bit hard to decide. I'm not entirely sure yet what buying workers actually does, but I assume it's something good. And at the very least, I just get to own people, and that's always a lot of fun. Medicine? Well, what's the point of all the misery I'm going to do then? If we can just fix the people, there's no point in doing this. Unless we can make enough money off of medicine to buy more resources to hurt more people and make make more money, all at the same time. Okay, so to upgrade our little farm, we need to buy a commune, which means we need 100,000 lands and 1,000 cowboy hats. The land won't take too long at all, provided those things stop popping up and annoying me, but we're already there. 100,000 lands, now we just need 1,000 cowboy hats. Oh, those are the farmers that have to go to work there. We just need 1,000 farmers. 1,000 farmers to run our commune. Not so much run it as mostly just die there, but whatever the case, we're gonna do it. I've always wanted my very own commune, and now I have one. Things might get expensive fast. If I want a collective, I need 1.00 E plus 0.12. But I've got time if you do, and we know that he definitely does. Our great empire at the moment is producing 5 comrades a second, so we need to get those numbers up. So while I'm thinking about how to do that, I'm just going to click on a bunch of things. We just crossed the 2 million potato mark, and that's 2 million more potatoes than I thought I would be harvesting today. But we're finally ready for our next upgrade to our potatoes, so we're going from 2,401 to 16,800 per click. That's a huge boost. 4 times the potatoes for 4 times the suffering. Then we'll do the same with the land, so we're going to go from 216 per click all the way up to 1,300 per click. Then only 7 million go to the next upgrade. Next upgrade is another 6 times, so 7,700 lands per click. Think of all the potatoes we could grow with all this land. And then we're going to need some ore to give these guys some trusty tools to run their lives with. I think if we upgrade our ore, we'll be able to unlock miners. We get 1,000 of those, we'll be able to get a blasting site, and that sounds wildly dangerous and probably pretty profitable. And there we are, 8.3 million ores brutally mined out of the ground. It's the workers from the land that we need. So as soon as we buy some of these guys, we'll be able to afford the blasting site. Then we'll lose some workers, probably, but then we'll keep making progress elsewhere. And there we go, 1 blasting site per us. So basically, these upgrades are the auto miners. So now every few seconds, we're getting 2 extra farmers. That's slowly going to drive this number up and up and up. So that's how it works everywhere. The more we work down, the more things are automatically going to mine themselves, so I don't have to do this. This doesn't sound that bad, but that noise doesn't sound very good through headphones. But I definitely want more land workers, so I'm going to buy at least 1 more blasting site, 2. So that's at least up to level 5 now. Make that level 6, so we're getting 6 workers every 11 seconds automatically. The next upgrades obviously are going to take a little longer to get to. So while we're waiting, we're going to farm potatoes 16,807 at a time while looking at that man's very happy face. So my strategy is to sit here and mine this until we have the 1,000 farmers we need for the next upgrade. Then we're going to repeat the process until we have an empire. A beautiful empire of pure suffering potatoes. Are you ready? No more potatoes. We're going to buy 1,000 farmers, and we only need 10 comrades, so there we go. Plus 1 to the commune. So now instead of making 2 farmers every 5 seconds, we're making 3. That, ladies and gentlemen, is communism at its finest. We bought ourselves 15 miners, so that means we're able to also buy things like a mine, which is obviously pretty expensive, but we're going to need one. 100 million potatoes, 100,000 ammos, and 1,000 miners. But since that's expensive, I'm going to assume it's worth it, so let's get back to mining 100 million potatoes. 100 million potatoes. Now we just need 100,000 bullets plus the workers. And that's not actually that bad. That's already 100,000 bullets because at 125 a click at that speed, fast. And we don't yet have what we need for the workers, for the miners yet, but it'll only take a few more seconds. Okay, but then buying all the miners took away from my other resources, so now I'm going to need to get those back before I can buy whatever it is I was just about to buy. The mine. Just like that. 1 mine. Now we're making 2 of these guys every 14 seconds. It's a very slow process so far, but we'll get there. Because I'm getting restless, we're going to hit the potato button. So we're going to get times 7,777 potatoes for 20 seconds. Did it work already? Yeah, there we go. We're getting 130 million potatoes. Oh, that's how it's supposed to work. I kind of wish we could just keep it at these numbers the entire time. But we earned enough for a few upgrades. Now we're getting 117,000 per click, 823,000, 5.7 million potatoes per click. That makes a little more sense. I was wondering why things were going so slowly. I was just gonna blame it on this guy because, well, look at him. So we should probably do the same for the land just to make sure we're getting adequate amounts of everything, and also remembering to hit the upgrade button every time it shows up. And that's gonna boost us even further ahead because now we're getting, I don't know, a whole lot of land. That's all that really matters to me. Big numbers. The next upgrade seems to be so far away that the meter is not even moving. But we're getting 60 million per click. I hope I'm not wasting things by doing this. But now we're going to get extra comrades. There we go. If we want to buy a collective, we already have enough land. We'll need some more potatoes somehow, but the land we're there. And also, I'm not really sure how far away the next upgrade is because I don't understand these numbers. Well, we still got 100 scientists left to sacrifice, so let's do some ore. Or off you go. Upgrade 1, upgrade 2, upgrade 3. Upgrade 4, they definitely get farther and farther apart the higher you go, but this will boost us ahead in our ore count. Well, we'll leave it here at 10 million ores per click. Next up, we're going to do weapons, because we're just going to go through all of these because I assume that's going to help us out in a big way. Didn't make it nearly as far with our missile-wielding friend, but we're up to 390,000 per click, so I'm not going to complain. Medicine. Really don't want to give these people too much medicine, but I guess if the doctor looks like that, then they're in pretty bad hands. Okay, cool, just eat up my 20 seconds, that's fine. Well, there's 390,000 medicines per click, which is more medicines than I'm ever going to give anyone ever. Well, I'm thinking about my next move. I'm going to buy 1,000 miners so I can buy another mine. Then I should probably also start buying some soldiers and people for medicine. That way we can unlock some of this stuff. We definitely need a fire team, and all I need is more workers. It is going to cost 10 million potatoes and 10 million land, but I feel like we can afford that. Our most expensive buy yet, one fire team. I don't know what that is, I just like the sound of a fire team. And that's gonna get me 16 potions. And let's buy some nurses. Are we out of money for nurses already? Well, whatever the case, we're just gonna keep upgrading whatever we can, whenever we can. So next, we're gonna try and buy enough communes, the tents, so that we can buy a collective, because to buy one of those, we need 1,000 communes. So that in theory, if we need 1,000 of these, we need 1,000 of these. 1,000 million potatoes, 1,100,000 lands, and that's gonna take a little while. Oh, unless we spend 10% of our fortune on 156,000 farmers, and I've spent more on this. I can at least buy 156 communes, and I feel like that's a pretty good start, but we need more farmers again. So let's click this that many times, then we're gonna buy as many communes as we can, which is 381. So we have 541 total now, but we're getting 541 idiots every 10 seconds. Now things are finally starting to work automatically. Every 5 seconds, 541 farmers here, which is a valuable resource. I don't want to spend all my money creating more. I want them to be made automatically. So maybe just a few 100,000 more farmers. Then another 200 communes, that puts us up to 739 of those, which means before you know it, we'll have enough for the collective, except for those damn potatoes. But I figure if I just leave this here for a couple minutes, we'll maybe get to where we're going. A few minutes later, my potato problem remains unfixed. So let's add some scientists to the mix, times 7,777 again. Now we're making big progress. We're making much more progress than we were before. Stupid amounts of potatoes. Currently we could buy another 49 of these. As that thing touches down, another 50. So we're getting an extra one every 5 seconds. While I'm waiting on potato related things, I'm going to spend 10,000 of my land on workers. That way I can buy 7 blasting. I'm just going to buy a bunch of blasting sites. I need this number to be going up too while I'm waiting. Alright, let's buy our 1,000 tents we need. Now we can get 1 collective. And we're also back to getting only 6 hats every 6 seconds. So we're going to have to bump that number back up again. And then to unlock the next thing, the plantation, we need 1,000 collectives plus a whole bunch of potatoes and land. Well, for right now, I'm going to buy 340,000 farmers, which is pretty expensive, but then I'm going to buy some more communes again, just so we can start producing some farmers again. Because at least now we're getting 1,408 every 6 seconds. Let's get the same working on their land tab. We're going to buy 170,000 workers, which means I can buy 173 blasting sites. So that's going to put us up to 510 every 12 seconds. That's going to be a big one. And I think we might as well do the same here with the miners. It's going to cost us, you know, 1 billion potatoes, 168 million land mass, but whatever. I think that's probably worth it. Because now we can buy 39, 42, we can buy a bunch of mines. That number's actually going up pretty quick, and that number's going to jump up quicker and quicker every time we buy it. We buy another 52, and that's going to go up by 4s now. And it doesn't even matter that they cost 5.8 billion potatoes every time we buy them, because I've got that much. But every time we need the basic workers for each of these industries, they get more and more expensive. Like to buy 1,400 soldiers, it's going to be 150 million potatoes, but 1,600 comrades. Those are pretty expensive. But once you upgrade it a few levels, it starts to produce the soldiers or units themselves, so then you're just going back here to buy some more, and then you just go back and forth clicking until you're rich. And then if you get restless, you can increase all your industries by 777 times for 20 seconds. So if we do that, our potato numbers are going to jump through the roof for a second, and then we'll be able to quickly get some more upgrades. At least fairly quickly. Things are still pretty expensive because, well, things are just expensive. But the communes are going up quickly. Look how quickly we're able to afford these, and every time we click on it, it's going to go faster and faster. And over at our excavator, man, we're up to 530 units every 10 seconds, which still isn't great, but it's getting up there. And somehow along the way, we managed to start producing 53 comrades a second. So this guy's never going to be lonely. Not that he has the time. He has to spend his entire existence farming as many potatoes as possible. So in essence, the more we click this, the bigger this number gets, the bigger all the other ones are going to get, because that's going to increase the production rate. So I'll see you guys in a while. Well, that didn't take long at all. We can buy almost 10,000 new communes, which means we're going to be making 53,000 now. But we're really still limited by the number of comrades we can have, so we need to boost that number. Scientists, do your thing. Times 7777 for 20 whole seconds. So now if we spend all our money on communes, we're being limited by the hats themselves. Luckily, they do make themselves back pretty quick, and that number is going up quite a bit faster than it was before, jumping from 195 to 261 just like that. So from 1 all the way up to 66, because it's going to give us 66,000 hats every single time it touches down. And back at our excavator friend, we can definitely upgrade that, so that's giving us 744, 746 every rotation, and this one's up to 442. There we go, we're up to 86,000 of those every one of those, and then 21,000 tents, which means that if I spend half of my tents on these guys, we can have 14, and now we're going to get 28 of these every rotation. So before you know, we'll have 1,000 of those and enough for our very own plantation. So also, interestingly, for every collective I buy, it boosts this number, which is actually this number. So the more of these I have, the more base units I'm going to get, which in turn means I can upgrade this even more. So everything builds a beautiful little cycle. Basically, I just need more everything. Also, to buy more communes, I'm going to need more land. So at 60 million a click, we're going to add up pretty quick, but it's still not moving towards the next upgrade. Regardless, I'm going to be pretty rich when it comes to land. That's a little bit better. If we have 13,000 tents, we should be able to buy 13 collectives. But let's split this right now. Let's spend half of our resources on 6 collectives, and then that's going to help this number grow all by itself without me having to babysit it. And because we're just going to need land, let's spend another these 10 potions on land. Even now, look how slow that upgrade is. I don't think we're even going to get to the next level. Not even close, but we probably did get a little bit more land. Things definitely start to slow down a little bit when you're trading in 254,000 pretty basic units for a minor upgrade. It's not even close to affording the next one, let alone the next 3 after that. I guess there's no point in holding on to these potions. Let's boost everything by 777 times for 20 seconds. That's going to help things move along pretty nicely. Then if we buy some of those, that'll help that number go up again. We'll do it one more time. That upgrade should pay for itself then. And I saw something about Comrade Glory over here, so now we're making more comrades than ever before. That's an extra 5 farmers a second. Wow, look how big this number got. Probably because we have this many farmers. Well, let's go ahead and spend all those farmers on 783,000 communes, which should be okay because we're making them back that quickly. And then we can still only buy 20 collectives because we're limited by the comrades. But we can start with 54 for now, because that's going to help this guy up here move faster, because we're getting 154 tents every time that touches down now. So let's go ahead and load back up on comrades. Just 5 potions for times 7,777. So now that number is going to jump way up, and we can spend it more on things like collectives. That's a little better. If we spend 50% on collectives, we get plus 5 comrades a second, plus this number is now going to go up by 1,596 every rotation. So this is going to grow by itself pretty quickly at this point. We're also over halfway to what we need for our plantation, which is 1,000 of these guys. We have 532 plus some extra potatoes. I mean, the potatoes are easy. All we need to do is click on that and then this. And we might even hit our next upgrade, which will be great because you can never have too many potatoes. Not when it comes to these comrades. So now we're getting this many potatoes per click. So while we're at it, let's spend 50% of our fortune on another 290,000 communes, which is going to push that number way up. And then if we play the 50% game again, spending these units to buy these, we'll now get 2,700 of those every cycle. So those pay for themselves pretty quickly, but we're almost up to the 1,000 we need here. Eventually we'll be making things like the hives, which will give me plantations, which will give me these guys, which will give me communes. In fact, let's push into it right now. There we go. And we're getting plus 2 collectives a second, so that's kind of helpful. And 20 more potions because I'm so good at potatoes. But wow, I actually still can't afford the next upgrade because I somehow still don't have enough potatoes despite this being a thing. Well, I guess these potions aren't going to spend themselves. Hopefully this pushes me up to the number I need. That does seem to have done it, but I'm a little concerned now at how many raw potatoes we're going to need to accomplish anything at all at this point. And I don't think I want to buy a plantation quite yet because that's going to use up 1,000 of these, which is providing me 5,000 of these every few seconds. So let's let these pile up a little bit first. I've amassed a little bit more, so I'm going to buy another 400 collectives, and that's going to push that number up to 7,000 every cycle. So I think now that we can afford to buy ourselves another 193,000 of these, we can feel comfortable enough to spend 50% more on these. So now we're going to get 8,800 every cycle. Let's finally commit and buy a plantation. That was really expensive, but the fact that it's going to give me 3 of these guys every minute is actually huge. huge. Those 3 are very expensive by themselves. And then a hive is only going to take 1,000 plantations, so we'll be there before you know it. You know what? Since we have a plantation activated right now and we still got potions, let's go ahead and boost it by 777 times for 20 seconds. Because look at it boost this number up. Now that's up to over 1,300 already, and that's boosting this number up here, which is going to trickle back down. But whatever we just did also kind of ran us out of comrades. We're making 82 a second, but we're going to need more than that to be able to do anything. So let's do a comrade boost, and then we're going to do the potato thing again. Because there's something satisfying about watching these numbers go up. We had an extra 6 farmers a second and 4 communes a second. This number is well over 2,000 now, so we could even buy another plantation if we wanted to. That is, if we had more potatoes. Even as fast as I can make them now, this would take a really long time to get to the number we need. Unless I touch this thing, then we'll get to the number we need before you know it. And we did it, but let's just go a little bit further. The important thing to note here with all our resources is how much this number is going to go up. 1 plantation equals an extra 3 of these, but that's actually huge because these guys are expensive. While we're at it, we should probably buy this many this things. I'm sure that's going to have a good use over a little bit of time, but I think we're going to need to take some time to stockpile more potatoes, despite the fact we've already mined this much. I don't know how many zeros that is, but I'll probably put it in the thumbnail. We need more potatoes, because 6.54e plus 0.24 isn't enough of them, though I'm sure my peasants have been working plenty hard since I've been gone. In fact, I have nearly 150 million comrades to spend, and they've got 20 nurses to keep them healthy. And here are the upgrades I was supposed to notice before. I believe these give permanent boosts. And since we have 20 points to spend, potatoes times 9, land times 9, weapons times 9, and ore times 9. And that next boost is times 999. And look how happy. He has no idea he's gonna need a bigger wheelbarrow. And maybe health insurance wouldn't hurt either. And naturally, we want to work our way down. We want to buy plantations. We get enough of those, we can buy a hive. The tricky thing is, to get 1 hive, we need 1,000 plantations. Currently, I have 2 of them. So for now, we're just gonna buy as many of these as we can. So there's 6. The problem is, we need more land. We have enough of everything else. Land is our big holdup. And we did just increase it to give us more land, but it's still going to be a while for its next upgrade. Even with the auto clicker, it's not even moving. But we did get this. An extra 3 potions. Those are actually going to come in handy, so I'm just going to keep clicking until that happens again. That actually worked? My stupid ideas never work. So we got 2 of 3, we're up to 5 of those. So I'm assuming you just need to click enough times to get rewarded, but that's 3 of 3 for my daily. So we got another 2, we're up to 7. And I feel like we need 9 because this big thing that's been here this whole time telling me what to click probably should be clicked. And I guess since we probably have the resources, we could just buy nurses until we start to upgrade things. At level 50, we're up to +1 nurses per second, and that's probably actually going to add up not bad. We still haven't unlocked all these, but we're well on our way. As in, if we buy 10% that we possibly can, we'll get 30,000 of them. There we go. Ambulances. My workers don't need ambulances. They need shovels and ground they could probably dig through without too much issue. And turns out taking care of people is good for me because there's another 18 blue potions. And I really can't help it. I've got to click this button now. Run all industries. Oh, interesting. So I guess what this does is runs all of the base industries. So we get potatoes, land, ore, weapons, and medicine. Everything we need for a communist utopia. So I'm going to sit here and click this for a while. And for some reason, it's giving me daily capsule 1 of 3 again. I don't think it knows what day it is, but I'm not going to complain. If I can get more of these things, great. And I think this is going to work. I should get 3 dailies for all 5 of my industries, which means lots of blue potions, which means lots of upgrades. A few minutes of clicking later, and we're up to 55 scientists to sacrifice in a good name of science. And I didn't really scroll through this before. There's actually a lot of good upgrades we can get with the scientists. Do we want farmers +1 and 5 times boost? Or do we want potato boost times 1,000? Well, we're going to start with that. The next upgrade is going to be a big upgrade, and it's going to cost 60 of those, but this is going to help us for now. And since Medicine Boost only costs 5, and it's very slow, we're going to buy that. And also the Farming Boost. We need the farmers to get rolling along, because those are 1-up from potatoes. My farmers are marginally more important than the potatoes themselves. Or that's what I'm told at least. I don't know. You can eat either one. And that circles us back to our problem. We're still looking for land to be able to buy more plantations. And since we do, let's boost our land production by 7,777 times for 20 seconds. I mean, it's only going to cost 10 scientists anyway. I just want to make sure I'm ready because I want to hit this button, not that button. Just because I want to be sure this actually works. So it's loaded on and we're going to hit this. Look at that number go up because we have a double multiplier because we bought a new multiplier today. We're going to upgrade and then keep it on going. Hopefully get enough for one more upgrade out of this because I really need the help today. Didn't quite make it to the next upgrade, but we got pretty close. On the bright side, we can buy 153 plantations, so we're going to do that. And that's going to give us 477 collectives, which in turn is going to give us 356,000 communes, which gives us plenty of farmers which produce those dirty potatoes. Maybe we should just spend everything we have on farmers to hopefully produce extra potato numbers. Then again, maybe we should do that on workers because we need land more than anything right now. So let's spend maybe 10-20% of our resources on workers. It'll hopefully get us more land along the way. While I'm at it, I'm going to upgrade some of the land things. I know if I get 1,000 dynamites, I can get the next clear cut, and that's not going to be that expensive to buy. These are costing 100,000 each of many materials, but we can afford it. Plus, every time I do this, I get some more scientists and everything. But anyways, there's my first clear cut, which is going to make me 2 dynamites every 30 seconds, all by itself. Plus, every time I do this and unlock something, it gets me like extra farmers per second, extra comrades per second, and those things are going to add up. And just unlocking the clear cuts, whatever it was, I get the Blur Bronze Blaster for 17 scientists. If we want to do the same under ore, it's going to get a lot more expensive because we need a lot of ore, but also a lot of land. And if I spend 10% of my resources on dynamite, we can buy almost 18,000 of them, which gets me 10 comrades a second and a new unlock, but that also makes me get new clear cuts, 17 of them to be precise. And now my clear cut is producing 36 dynamites every 30 seconds, and that's actually considerable because those are pretty expensive for me to buy right now. And whatever I just did got me an extra 10 comrades a second, and boy, I sure need it with only 120 million left. I only need another 8 scientists to be able to unlock the land boost. So while I'm thinking about what to do next, I'm simply going to run all industries at an alarming rate. I think at this point I'm going to do something exciting and spend 50% of everything I can to buy more workers because they're going to produce more land. I currently have a lot of them, 1.62 plus 008. I could add 6 plus 007, so that should actually make quite a difference. Whatever the case, I'm going to do it. And hopefully that was worth it in some capacity, though. Now that I actually think about that decision, maybe not. Here's my very stupid plan that I've concocted. If I spent 50% of my resources here, for 110,000 blasting sites, not only will I get a boost somewhere in this stuff, I thought I would be able to buy more clear cuts than this now. Because if I bought enough of those, I know I would get a scientist boost, which I did not. Probably because this stuff tends to get expensive very quickly. But now I have a lot of blasting sites, so that's always a plus. Okay, so let's pretend that I actually waited long enough to save up 20,022 scientists. That would probably cover the 30 I need to get a land boost of 1,000 times. So now when I click this button, the upgrade thing still isn't moving, but look at our number of land at the top go up. That's finally the kind of progress we need. Before, those numbers were moving very slowly. Now we're one layer up in the 15s and that number is still going strong. We're going to be in the 16s even before you know it. And now that we're into the 16s, the number is slowed down, but it's still moving up pretty good. When we were at 1,000 times less money, it was moving this quickly in the 14s. And that means I can finally buy at least a few plantations. We could buy 60 total if we want to, and I think we do. We're going to need those to get our hive. So while we're waiting, let's boost all of our industries just a little bit. They're all at 60. We're going to go to 100,000 times boost because I like bigger numbers. And this apparently is the max upgrade, but that's going to help, move things along. Now watch those potatoes soar. Yeah, that was a quick upgrade. Look at all the numbers at the top. Suddenly they want to move again. And we're even achieving medals. And the upgrades are still going up. We're getting into the plus 30 section now. So I think after this upgrade, once we hit potato level whatever, we're going to check the rest of the industries to upgrade everything there and probably get a lot of rewards. Things are just so much easier when you buy 20,000 scientists. Even this level is still moving strong enough that I think I'm just going to tough it out and get through it. After that upgrade, those numbers are still going up and our potato meter is even still moving. But we're currently at 1 plus 0.32 potatoes. So that's a lot of potatoes. And also everything else, we're going to have a lot of upgrades. And I realized I probably should have hit all these before riding that button for so long, because now they're all going to make like 1 billion times more than they were before. For example, look at that next upgrade, how quickly that hits. And we're going to have some very happy guys with beards. And it's actually going to be kind of annoying doing it this way because I need to run all industries till they have an upgrade all 4 of them, then repeat the process until they're tired of getting upgraded. But at least I'll have a lot of raw materials to work with. And just like that, I think they're pretty well exhausted, but I could probably afford a lot more things that I couldn't afford before, like clear cuts. And we have enough for another 5 plantations, so we're getting there. We're still going to need 1,000 collectives for every one of those, but I've got an idea. I think if we boost the plantation by 5 times, that's going to make a pretty big difference. Maybe 7 times on top of that. While we're at it, we might as well boost the whole production line. The collectives are going to go up twice, and so are those shiny new communes. That's going to put our numbers up nicely. Now, instead of making 800 collectives every minute, we're now making 32,000 collectives every minute. And the lesser resources are producing a lot of other things. This is producing 9.18 plus 0.006 communes per minute. So that means it's not going to take more than a few minutes to buy a hive, because we can already buy 64 more plantations. It's just a matter of sitting back and waiting. And I see that potato bar moving. I'm going to upgrade this while we wait. And there it is. More potatoes than ever before. And saving up all those potatoes has probably upgraded the rest of my industries. Well, they've all upgraded so that the numbers at the top are going up again, all at a pretty good rate. And while we're waiting, we could buy another 162 plantations, which is pretty good, but we still need better. We're going to get a 9 times boost on top of that, which is maxed out. And the same for the collectives and communes. We're just going to max those bad boys out because this is a pretty slow process otherwise. And yes, we're even going to give our farmers fancy straw hats because they deserve it or something. But those upgrades basically instantly let me buy another 571 plantations, which means we have over 1,000. We're getting pretty good at this farming stuff. So now we buy our first ever hive, and that by itself is going to produce 4 plantations every 3 minutes. We only have 24 currently, so those numbers are actually going to add up to quite a bit of value, especially when we give it just a gentle nudge in the right direction. And, well, we'll call that good enough for now, because it by itself suddenly is going to produce 5,000 plantations every 3 minutes, which is more than we've had by a lot. And that's every 3 minutes. So now I'm just going to wait for this to touch down in a minute, which is going to get me plantations, which is going to turn into more hives, which is going to turn into more plantations. And there it goes. So let's buy another few of those, and that's going to give us 11,000 plantations every 3 minutes, which I think is going to be worth waiting for, because that should give us an even 20 hives, which will give us, you know, a lot more plantations in return. But then we can let things build up for a while, and Potato Man will be very happy about that. And whatever we did there added 14 comrades a second. So we're now making 282 of those every second. And apparently we've got enough collectives that is also adding stuff to us, so we're going to claim those too. So we're now up to 311 comrades a second. More importantly, we now have 20 hives, which is going to give us 25,000 plantations every 3 minutes. But now all that stuff is rolling, I feel like we can start moving in on the land, because to buy clear cuts now we can already buy 112 of them, and I think we're just going to go ahead and do that, because that is eventually going to lead to roads. We need 1,000 clear cuts to unlock one single road, but we can definitely do that, especially if we spend 50% on buying more blasting sites. That will at least get us another 104 clear cuts, which is still a little bit slow for me. So we're going to give the clear cuts a 5 times boost, and then a 7 times boost on top of that, and then a 9 times boost on top of that. And same with longer fuses, which is weird because you think they'd be more productive with shorter fuses, but then we're going to give them the blastiest blasting sites of all, and I guess we'll kind of add to the workers and increase their production as well. So as soon as we close the menu, we can already buy 226 clear cuts, but they're also producing 225,000 blasting sites every minute. And I feel like that's the kind of production that's really going to help boost us ahead. So as soon as this closes, we're going to go from 226 to 452. I'll take it. And then once we hit 1,000 of these, which won't take long, we'll be able to buy our first road. I'm not really sure why my idiots need roads, but we'll get them for them if they make me more money. Another 653 clear cuts, which means we get our first road, which produces 3 clear cuts in return, at least until we get more cementy cement, because we're building cement roads, center lines, don't need those, and roadiest roads. There we go. Now instead of making 3, they're making 3,780. And that's a nice trickle-down effect, because the more resources it makes for the prior resource, we can use that to buy forward and buy more signs, spending roads. And we're getting so many unlocks, I continually have to go over and touch that unlock button, which is actually kind of annoying. 9 farmers bring glory, 9 comrades a second. Well, we still have 57 million of those, so that's not a big deal, but we're going to buy another 4 roads, which basically doubles my output into clear cuts. And for our highway, which apparently they want those too, we're going to need 1,000 roads. We currently have 8, but we'll get there. I was just thinking about how long this would take without having all those scientists to help these boosts, because even as it is, this is taking a minute. But I have managed to get my next upgrade for land, and that's actually going to make a considerable difference, because you really just can never have too much land to exploit people on. Another cycle, we could buy another 15 roads. How exciting. But at least every time it finishes this cycle, we do get bigger and bigger numbers. And coming back to our farmers, we can already afford another 101 hives. Wasn't that long ago that these were impossibly expensive. Now look how fast we're making them. And those are going to reward us with 190,000 plantations every 3 minutes. Basically, the bigger this number gets, the bigger all of these numbers get very easily. And it seems like this one basically doubles. Every time it finishes its cycle, we can almost double the size of it, which about doubles the output. And I never noticed this button before. Ultra Resource Surge. Get 168 hours worth instantly for only 750 scientists. I mean, I feel like I have an excess of those, so let's try that. Wow, look at that. I can buy 342,000 routes suddenly, which means we can't quite buy a highway yet because we ran out of comrades because I'm stupid. Okay, well, we have enough to buy one highway it is, and that's going to make us 4 roads in return. We have 340,000 of those now, but you get the point. Also, dear leader teddy bears, all resource speed times 147. All resources. If only I had 10,000 scientists to sacrifice. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that one. And then we can still buy this one for only 2,000. So that's a lot quick. Look at all the resources at the top. I know we're making progress. This is kind of what I envisioned when I started. Everything moving up so quickly that I don't even know what to tell you. It's all happening very fast. And lots of my industries are already working themselves into upgrades. Even the potatoes have upgraded themselves because we're making that much for themselves already. So we can move on to the ores now. To buy the excavator, we're going to need 1,000 ores. So we can buy 11,000 of those, and then we can buy 12 of these. And that's going to start the resource chain we need because the excavators are providing mines. And then we're going to need 1,000 excavators to be able to afford Mega Mine. So we're obviously going to give these just a little extra boost, just like we do with everything we touch. So now with all the boosts, suddenly we're able to buy 650 excavators, which can buy us 2 Mega Mines already. We can buy more mines if we want to, that are going to pay for a lot more excavators, which are going to pay for more Mega Mines. And I can't actually keep up with all the metals and unlocks we're getting just because everything's moving at such a stupid rate right now. Potatoes are up to 2.5 plus 038. I believe that means 38 zeros. And we haven't even hit the next level yet. So that just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger really fast. But we're up to 72 Mega Mines now, and that's obviously going to get bigger faster. We're going for the deep bore. We need to go as deep as possible. The deep bore, interestingly, is going to take apparently some weapons, because apparently that one doesn't want to upgrade for some reason. Wait, there it goes. Now it's ready to go again, so that should hopefully give us the ammunition we need. It actually didn't, because we need 1 to the power of 27, and we have to the power of 23 currently. And that's even with its 100,000 times boost, plus all the other boosts we've given it. So we're going to increase not only the miners, but also the soldiers to hopefully make their output a little bit better. Is it because we need more fire teams? What happens if I get 300 of these? Is that going to help me along? Then maybe we'll buy more soldiers. And then when that fails, we're just going to boost the bullet production by 7,777. We'll let that go ahead and then click away. Gonna hit the upgrades as we go because those are needed. But I can see we're already long past the number we need. We needed 1 to the power of 27, I believe. We're at power of 29. This is a lot of work just to get the deep bore mines. But we can also buy another 100, well, let's call it 200 Mega Mines. Only another 700 to go. So now if we just let the game run for a week, then we'll come back to it, and that should have enough to buy what we need. Yeah, we can buy 1.12 plus 006 Mega Mines. Then we're just waiting on the comrades to come back because we need 10,000 of them per deep bore level. They do like to bore, those comrades. And then after that, week of progress, we're going to have a few more upgrades because things have been piling up while I was gone. Well, now this deep bore is producing 24 Mega Mines every few seconds, so that's pretty incredible progress considering how expensive these are to buy. Now when I pick this up in 6 months again, we're gonna have all sorts of crap to play with. Today is all about a big blue ball. The more we click, the more money we get. That also moves us up the world ranking leaderboard. When we click 100 times, we have $100, so we can buy our first atom. That's gonna earn $1 per second in the background while my lone tree floats around in orbit. I can also spend $10 to upgrade my double tapping power, so now I get $2 per click. I'm a little confused as to how we bought a single atom and it spawned a whole tree and island, and there's even a sailboat on there, but they're probably pretty lonely. Well, we've actually climbed 2,000 spots up the leaderboard, which is curious, so I think we're going to do well for ourselves today. I'm going to buy another atom or 2 or 3, and then we can at least make background money. Our default is 3 per second. I can obviously click faster than that, and that pushes us up to 15 per second, 20 per second. Then naturally, we're going to need to see what adding a molecule does for our planet. That adds an extra 6 per second and a yellow tree. By the end of this, we'll have a lush, beautiful planet. We're in the top 70%. And we still have a long ways to go according to this slider. And then when we're done with that, for $1.83 distillion, we buy the next planet. And then a planet after that, and after that, and after that one looks like a kitty cat. And kitty cats aside, we're going to buy a molecule again, $732. We're at 15 per second. I feel like clicking is really going to be my friend today. So we're going to get to double tap power. But I do also have an auto clicker, which is going to get us there quickly. We're allowed to click pretty fast on this one. The planet's even going to explode. At least I hope it is. It's going to pop like a grape. There's the 1500 we need, so double tap power, we now get 4 per click, so I'm gonna get even more clicking. It really is fun because an auto clicker can ruin a large majority of the games we play. And this is also how you climb the leaderboard really quickly. And we have the $3,000 we need for Stardust. That's gonna 26 per second. Well, it's not exactly a dense jungle yet, but we do have some lonely islands. We also need to find out if at a certain level these increase their boost. Level 10 is sometimes a good place to start, and nothing happened. But you just don't know if you don't try. We need another Stardust for another 26 per second. These are going to get really expensive really quickly, but I've got time if you do to sit back and relax. This is also somehow tied in with Solar Smash or something because our planet keeps getting lasered by something and I don't know why. We also have our first flowers. And the auto clicker puts us up to about 240 per second now, so we should be able to buy a meteor pretty soon, and that's obviously super good for a planet. A few amazingly fun minutes later, we have the $21,000 we need per meteor, and hopefully it crashes directly into the planet. Is it the green one? Where's the meteor? There's a few meteors. Well, we're up to 300 per second without me clicking at all, so I'm feeling pretty good. But we could have actually increased our tapping power quite a while ago, a few times over. We're getting 8 per click now, and that's going to go to 16 per click in just a moment. I got so excited with the numbers that I forgot to actually pay attention to what the numbers mean. 16 per second, and then once you get 16,000, we get even higher. We're making $1,000 a second already. These numbers are going to get really big. 16,000, well spent. Now we're up to 32 per click. And all we need is 37,000 to get double that, so we'll be up to 64, and that's going to take like 10 seconds. We're going to set the Earth for a little spin and then buy that. And our clicking now is up to 3,000 per second. So getting the human for under 90,000 isn't really that expensive anymore. It's almost still worth it to buy more meteors, but I guess if the price that goes up, it's not worth it anymore. But even buying those few things gave us like a 15% increase to our earnings, which is pretty insane. Mostly it just looks like a planet having a seizure. We're also in the top 50% now, so we're perfectly average. We broke under 90,000, so we get to buy our first human, which gives us a massive increase. We're now making $2,200 in the background. Where's my idiot? I paid for a human. I want to see him. I don't think we actually get a human on here yet. To be honest, planets are probably better off without those. But we've actually jumped all the way up to the top 40% suddenly, so we might hit the top of this leaderboard sooner than later, but I'm also using an auto clicker, so does it really count? $5,000 a second though, we're starting to make some pretty good money. There's so much going on that I'm starting to lose track of my cursor at times. It's very uncomfortable. Also, I'm going to be somewhat smart again. We're going to spend $90,000 to double my clicking power, 180 to double it again, which puts us up to 256, otherwise known as $12,000 per second when we let it all go, and we can still buy more double tap power, which will put us well over 512. Still only in the top 40%, but at $24,000 a second, we're gonna get to the top before you know it. So let's go ahead and double the tapping power one more time. It's level 10, so we're making 1,024 every single click. That brings us up to almost $50,000 a second. So to buy that UFO, it's gonna take about 23 seconds, or thanks to the power of editing, this fast. So we're starting to get some islands for sure. We obviously have a long way to go. $14,000 per second. Plus the clicking power, there's easily $50,000, $60,000 every single second. So we made $1 million back in no time at all. Top 40%, and we can double our clicking power again. So let's do that. And 2,048 every click. As fun as it's going to be to buy an intergalactic cow for 10.2 million, I think it's still worth it to buy at least a few UFOs before the pricing isn't worth it. Still no people on my planet, though I suppose there's got to be someone in a sailboat. Long story short, that put us up to about $120,000 a second, and so that's getting up there quicker and quicker. And at 10.2 million, we actually get to buy our intergalactic cow, which puts our earnings to the moon, and we have a red tornado. And I'm glad we have that because we're up to $200,000 a second. So the millions are coming easier and easier. We're making $1 million every 5 seconds right now. And good news, not only are we absolutely bombarding this planet with rocks and radiation and space shuttles, we are up to the top 30%. But we're also overdue to upgrade our clicker, so for 10.5 million, we're going to upgrade that twice, $8,000 per click. And we're clicking a lot. $500,000 a second, so every 2 seconds, $1 million. The planet really seems to like that. It just goes absolutely bananas with an auto clicker. Then for only 11.44 million, we can double our tapping power again, which we can afford to do now. Which means we then buy another intergalactic cow, and between all that, that's going to be close to $1 million per second, which is obviously going to get us to where we're going in a hurry. Do you think the cows on this planet are dizzy yet? I think they're probably getting dizzy. This thing is spinning like 1 million times per second, and I love it. And it's time to buy a comet. That's going to put our earnings way up, so we should be well over $1 million, maybe closer to 2 by this point. Well, we'll call it $1.4 million a second, so it was a 40% increase of buying a single thing. It was at this point I bought double tap power again. Now 32,000 per click. Now, do we buy another comet or do we buy double tap power? Let's buy another comet. just because I can be lazy. It's pretty lazy using an auto clicker, but I want to be extra lazy. Plus, at almost $3 million a second, we're going to make the 41 million we need for clicking power that quickly. And that puts us to over 4 million a second at 65,000 per click. At this point, it definitely looks like double tap power is going to be the one we need to buy for a little bit because it costs $500 million for the asteroid upgrade. But we do click so fast that clicking upgrades are well worth it. I think I clicked on an ad because suddenly we have a lot of money. So we're going to buy an asteroid for $550 million. That put our base earnings up to 5.36 million. Then we can buy double tap power once. So every click alone is $250,000. All in all, $15 million a second. And we're moving up on the leaderboard, 412 spots until we're in the top 30%. And that's obviously very important to me, more clicking power. The next thing is a dwarf planet. That's $5 billion. So I'm actually going to buy another asteroid in the meantime. That still gave us a giant increased earnings, which makes me think I should probably be buying things like comets because these are only $90 million and that's actually quite cheap for us now. Yeah, $30 million a second isn't too bad. We're going to buy a few more comets just because that's very affordable. Then maybe $750,000 on more tapping power, which gives us 1 million per click. And in total, $50 million a second. So 20 seconds is $1 billion. Then let's do 1.5 billion on double clicking power again, 2 million per click. And I just realized we broke into the top 20%. I guess top 30%. We have 1,760 spots to go until the top 20%. But we can now afford a dwarf planet, so that's going to take us from $12 million a second to $52 million a second. So that's 4 times earnings in the background. And the game doesn't seem to be liking the auto clicker anymore. It's kind of pulsing in and out of life. But we are clicking so fast, we're making over $100 million a second. So I can understand why it's struggling a little bit. And we get double tap power again, so we're up to 4 million per click. I think that maybe every time we buy a new upgrade, we get a new island on the planet. That seems to make sense to me, but I've got something fun to try in just a moment. Before doing anything, we need to double our clicking power again. That brings it up to 8.4 million every single click. Otherwise known as $250 million a second, so make $1 billion every 4 seconds, which is unreasonably quick. I intentionally clicked on that ad because it would give us lots of money. We have $75 billion. I want to spend that all on atoms to see if it adds more islands. It does add more islands. Oh, we're going to get lots of those trees then, because I'm going to spend billions of dollars on these for some reason. There we go, 92. I think that made a difference to our planet. Earnings-wise, it probably didn't mean very much. Auto clickers really just make this so much easier. Double tap power again. $17 million every single click. Next is probably going to be pretty important to buy a few more dwarf planets. There's another $80 million per second. So once the clicking actually gets going and stops pulsing, I don't know what it's doing, but $500 million a second is feeling pretty comfortable. It's going to get better, but I'm content so far. Next, we're looking for an ant colony. That's going to add $2 billion a second. And our base rate is 132 million right now, but I've got an idea. If I were to say prestige, I can get right back to where I was, but I have 2 times earnings instead. So we're making over $500 million a second. We're not even quite as far as we were before. But at 2 times earnings, we're going to get to where we're going that much faster. We're currently at 16 million per click. As soon as I buy that, we're going to be at 32 million per click. So we're also going to buy a few moons while on our way to an ant colony. We could buy an entire planet soon to put on our planet for some reason. Aside from that, we're now making $2 billion a second without clicking and $3 billion with clicking. So we can already afford another moon if we want to, and who wouldn't want more moons? And just like that, I've got almost $1 trillion to spend, so I'm going to double my clicking power a lot. $1 billion per click. That's a cool milestone. And we can so very easily afford an ant colony. So that means our earnings are $50 billion a second. So it's only going to take 20 seconds to make $1 trillion. And we finally done it. We can afford our very own planet, because our current planet isn't good enough. I think we just grew whatever that is, $13.4 trillion. Yes, I think I will. Exoplanet. So not only are we going to get a planet, we're going to get a planet that doesn't count as a planet. $220 billion without the clicking. Oh, I should probably upgrade my clicker. 1, 2, 3 times. Here on this channel, we learn to count together. $8.3 billion per click, so we're up to $600 billion a second, at least until I once again double my clicking power. 17 billion per click, and you know what, we're going to do that one more time, so it's going to be about $35 billion a click, and that's well ahead of the one we started at. We went from $1 per click to $33.32 billion. So $1.5 trillion a second now. We'll buy another exoplanet. That'll hopefully push us closer to 2, because we're going to need 91 trillion for a Star Destroyer. And I've just noticed that our sailboat has turned into like a speedboat. So that was cool. We only had to spend hundreds of trillions of dollars to get a proper speedboat. Oh, and I long since passed the amount of need for a Star Destroyer. 2 Star Destroyers. It's cruel to have only 1 Star Destroyer. Everyone needs a friend. Then I think we're long overdue to buy a few more clicks, so $133 billion per click. You know what? It's much easier math if we upgrade that again. then it's about $250 billion per click. Every 4 clicks is $1 trillion. And just like that, we have $1.75 quadrillion to spend on a red dwarf star. Maybe 2 of those, along with some more clicking upgrades. And just like that, we're up to $60-70 trillion a second. $1 trillion per click. Okay, we're in the top 20% at this point. We need to move 1,766 spaces upwards to hit the top 10%. Our world rank is 3,500. Obviously, I assume the higher we go, the slower we're going to move up, because there's probably a lot of players currently doing what I'm doing, so I don't know if it's possible to catch them, but we're going to try. They might have skill, but I've got time. Time outweighs all if you just keep doing stuff long enough. Fast food for $4.4 quadrillion. That was a colossal upgrade to our income. Like, that's almost a joke at how big that was. Like, we've almost made enough back now to get another upgrade. And in fact, we can go one further because of a little boost. We're going to buy Einstein for $27 quadrillion. And now we're making $500 quadrillion per second without clicking. So we're going to save up just a little bit of money, and then we're going to upgrade our clicker 2 times, soon to be 3 times. Now every click is $17 trillion. We're getting pretty rich. I mean, we're not talking like real life rich yet, but we'll get there one day. And for good measure, let's do that again. So now every click is worth $70 trillion. Our income is actually $3 quadrillion a second by this point, which is absolutely ridiculous. We can even buy another Einstein. That's going to add $214 trillion per second, otherwise known as just way too much. And for $185 quadrillion, we're going to buy a pulsar, which is 5 times earnings of Einstein. So we're going to buy 2 of those. Look at how beautiful our planet's getting. It's like it was designed by an architect. Definitely wasn't me doing that. Another 2 upgrades to the clicking. So every 4 clicks is now $1 quadrillion. All in 16 quadrillion a second. A planetary nebula is only $926 quadrillion, and that's going to add about 6 times our earnings. Which, yeah, this just gets stupider and stupider as it goes. And we're long overdue for some tapping power, so we're going to go from level 47 to 51. 4 times the increase. $4.3 quadrillion per click. These numbers are going to get really, really big. We still got a long ways to go. Okay, we're world rank 3001 right now. Pretty soon that should drop to below 3000. There it is. We're officially in the top 3000. I don't know how this happened, but we skipped right over alien. I forgot we didn't buy one, so I'm going to buy a star before buying an alien. Then I'm also going to buy an alien because it'd be stupid not to. So now we're up to about $500 quintillion per second, which is a lot. That's a number we can't even fathom. But when we're at it, we're going to get another 1 level on the clicker. So that's 8.7 quadrillion by itself. The leaderboard's really slowed down. We're below 2800th world rank, but we've only moved up 220 spots the past few minutes. So I'm going to use some extra boosts to double our income for a little while to hopefully climb up just a little bit on that leaderboard. All the while, our planet is getting bigger and bigger from sucking in all the space garbage. I almost did it again where I skipped over. I almost skipped over Pizza Planet, and that's so important to us all. We're going to buy 2. And a few more clicking upgrades. Now we're up to $750 quintillion per click. The planet is also getting reasonably full. Eventually there won't be any water left. It'll just be bombardments of hamburgers and spacecrafts. But we can already afford a red giant, so that's going to make our income go like 5 times higher again. But we clearly need more quick clicking power, so now the 2 of those is actually a giant upgrade. Now every 5 seconds we make $1 sextillion, which is good because now we can afford a deadly virus, which is just what our planet needs. So our income has gone up quite a bit once again. So on top of that, I think we're going to need 2 more clicking upgrades. Then we're ready for rose-colored glasses, which is how I look at my beautiful little planet. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I like how next is a simple supernova, which seems like it would have something to do with space, but then comes German beer, which probably has less to do with space. But the only way to know for sure is to click on them. So when supernova, which puts our earnings to absolutely bananas-ville, we're already up to $4 sextillion a second, and then 1 little boost later, German beer. But that's also known as $12 sextillion a second. Starting to make some movement on the leaderboard again. 600 places to go until we're in the top 10%. We need more clicking. Almost $1 sextillion per click now too, so 43 sextillion per click per second.
There's so much clicking going on, I'm getting so excited I can't even talk anymore.
Yeah, 1 more double tap power. 3.4 sextillion per second now. This is getting dumber and dumber as we go, and I love every bit of it. Like, we can already afford another buy. So, what does it even say now? I'm getting tired, so I can't read. $7 sextillion every single second of our lives. Oh, plus we're going to double that again, so well. 14. Then by the time I even scroll down to the quantum computer, we can afford it. And like 10 seconds after that, I can afford an astronaut, which is technically another human. So we're up to about almost $1 septillion a second at this point, which means we need to upgrade double tap power 2 more times. We'll go for a third too, because it's only going to take half a second to get there. And there it is. You know what, we're doing so much clicking, I might as well just live out double tap power. I probably could. I don't even need the other stuff. But I kind of want it because big numbers are fun. So the elliptical galaxy, we're buying entire galaxies at this point, only costs 43 septillion. We're going to make that in like a few seconds. Yeah, we could buy as many galaxies as we want, really. But we'll start with one. Oh, and they have a better galaxy coming up, a spiral galaxy. We just got to buy a music box first for some reason. But that could definitely be done. $174 septillion well spent. Then I assume we can afford some more clicking upgrades, so we're going to do that once, probably twice more. So now we're up to 306 trillion per click, or about $13 septillion a second overall. Plus, if I had a little booster to double that, now we're at $27 septillion a second. And we're sucking in all sorts of big new stuff. And we can afford our spiral galaxy now. $1.4 octillion well spent. And after another booster, $75 septillion a second. Absolutely ridiculous. So even more clicking power, we're going to upgrade that twice. 3.5 septillion every click. At least until we upgrade it once, maybe even twice more. The upgrades really aren't that expensive yet. I really like how cheap they are in this one. There's 3.3 octillion we need, so we need $7 octillion. That's going to take us like 14 seconds, not even to get to. And our money really does come from that clicking. Well, it comes from auto-clicking. But I like being lazy like that. The game plays itself. I just sit back and watch. Okay, we're over $1 octillion a second. We're at 1.1 octillion. So to make $13 octillion, it takes less than 13 seconds to double our clicking power again. So now we make $2.25 octillion a second, so it'll take us basically 10 seconds to get the next clicking upgrade. And now it's going to take us like 18 seconds to get what we need. So at this rate, we actually probably could milk this for a few more upgrades and it would be well worth it. Because clicking on this one, what do we have per click? $225 septillion. Plus, we're about to break into the top 2,000. We're getting pretty close to the top 10%. But we didn't know when we hit the top 3,000, so top 2,000, right there. Double tap power once, and the next one's coming up very quickly too. $17 octillion per second, so it's going to take us 15 seconds to get what we need for more double tap power. That seems to be almost pretty constant, the ratio there. So the more we upgrade our clicker, the more we make to upgrade the clicker again. Yeah, like the ratio seems to be almost locked into itself. It doesn't grow as we need more upgrades. So we can just keep doing this. We need $1.8 million. We're making $1.3 octillion a second, $130 octillion a second. So yeah, 15 seconds. I don't even know what we can afford for upgrades anymore, but it's probably a lot of them. Every click is now worth $14 octillion. Plus, every time we click on some of those things, it gives us a giant upgrade to income. It's only 83 positions until top 10%. Very exciting. We're going to click on that some more. We're up to $60 octillion per click. This one's going to cost $30 million, but that's perfectly affordable for us, considering we're now making $4 million a second. And I yet again upgrade. Whoops, accidentally bought an atom. Well, it gave us an extra 1 per second. I think this will be our last one before our bonus runs out, but that's still $461 octillion a second. Basically, half a million every second. Just from clicking. Sorry, that's incorrect. Half a million every click. There's tons of millions per second. So let's go back down our list of the upgrades we've been ignoring for a while. So I could buy Friendship for 8.36 octillion. We can afford that. We can afford the Shaolin Monk for 33. I want this bonus. Hey, we're almost at the bottom. Actually, we are at the bottom. The Big Bang for 262 million. I got so carried away, I went right past the highest upgrade, which isn't really a surprise. 16 spaces until the top 10. 15 spaces until the top 10. We're getting closer. 13. Okay, let me see if I can do this with the auto clicker. I'll buy both of those just for fun. The earnings are going to help. It's going to get more and more competitive as we get closer to the #1 spot. Okay, I put my booster back on to hopefully get us there a little bit quicker, and started to do the pulsey thing again, 11 spots until the top 10%. It's crazy to think how ridiculously tryhard I'm being for a game like this, and I can't even make it to the top 10%. Well, I will momentarily, but it's really hard to do this. And this is the top 10% of a game that only has like 16,000 players. Okay, we got 3 spaces until the top 10. I don't know if it's based on earnings or what. Like if I buy this, do this ad thing, it might work. And it looks like it did. Where you're in the top 10%. We're officially 1789th best player in the world. The best way for me to get earnings at this point is to buy extra clicking power, because we click so quickly, we could actually maybe fudge the system a little bit with clicking power. So every time we do this, our clicking power actually doubles, so that's $10 million a second, which is pretty big as far as even clicker games are concerned. Correction, that's $10 million per click. It's actually $400 million a second, which is even stupider. Then if we double that power again, that's only going to go up. That puts us up to $800 million a second. I've gone so high in the numbers, it's simply become an A. I have got 1.25 pink A's. And now when I want an upgrade, it's going to cost 1.25 pink A's just to be able to afford it, which will happen right now. And we'll just keep on making more and more money. The money's getting so stupid now that we're making 2.2 pink A's per second, which I'm pretty sure is a decillion, $2.3 decillion per second. And that's not including the constant upgrades we're buying. And that still, unbelievably, only puts us in the top 1,500, not even. We're just about to break that. But since every time we buy something, it adds an island, let's spend 69 pink A's, $69 million on atoms. Hopefully that adds some nice stuff to our planet. We really need the help. And so far we bought about 250 levels, 300 levels of that. Wow, this really is a lot of money. We bought 407 levels of atoms. I wasn't really watching a planet when we did that though. Did it change? Is it better or is it worse? Maybe we'll do the same with molecules. I'm not really seeing a change though. Stuff's flying into it, but stuff's always flying into it. Well, I don't know. It looks a little better. The important thing is we're making $10 million a second and I'm pretty happy with that. That's a lot of zeros and we all love zeros. One click equals one candy. Confused? Well, we'll figure it out together. Pretty simple concept. The more I click, the more candies I get. 15 candies means I could buy an auto click, which means it just clicks away all by itself. At an incredible pace at 0.5 candies per second. At this rate, all our problems will be solved. But we're going to work our way all the way up to 100 candies. That means we can buy a cursor, makes 1 candies per click. So now we have the golden cursor, 2 candies per click. We have double the income. And that only takes 115 to upgrade. Now we're getting 3 per click. And we leveled up, so we get some of those. And we get upgrade points to spend. I actually think I might save up for this, make +1 more sugar per level up. We're only going to need 5 levels. We'll do that pretty quickly, but then we get extra sugars per level, and that's going to get us further faster later. I don't know if that makes sense. In fact, it's probably a bad idea because it is my idea, but it's the one we're going with. And it looks like we have a lot of things to unlock, all the way up to infinity. We hit 1,500 candies. That gave us another level up. We're not going to spend that yet, but we do get an auto candy, 25 candies per second. So we just went from, I don't know what we're at, to a lot. Now, auto click is only level 1. Let's bring it all the way up to level 10 to see if there's any kind of bonus. There doesn't appear to be, but that did bring us up to 30 per second. So let's spend the rest of our money here. That leaves us at 30 per second still. Oh, because that was the clicker upgrade. So now I'm getting 10 per click. So we're now making hundreds per second and we're leveling up quickly. But we're going to do another auto candy and then maybe more cursor upgrades. And now we're up to a lucky 13 per clip, but we've already made 1,000 candies back. This number is going to get big quickly and I very much enjoy that. In fact, there's another level up, so we're almost at the level 5 we need to get the bigger bonus. I can tell I've had too much coffee because I haven't resorted to an auto clicker yet. So let's buy the steel cursor. That's going to make 50 candies per click. And then I'm going to go have more coffee because I want to see what happens. Wow, I should just get a coffee every time I level up. I've already got enough for another steel cursor, so there's an extra 50 per click. I just read that out loud to myself and that's per click. But we're getting 113 per click now, so I need to be actually clicking to make that work. But on a more important note, we're going to get +1 sugar per level up. So now in 5 levels, we'll have made back our loss, and then after that, we're into profit when it comes to the sugar things. We're about to hit 20,000 candies. That's going to give us a level up. Then I'm also going to buy all of the auto candies. That's going to give us big experience, but we're up to 230 per second plus our clicking. And we've officially clicked 1,000 times, and that's another level up. Things are moving along very quickly. I'm actually going to wait for this one. Probably the coffee talking, but if I can get 1 more sugar per level, we're going to get 3 per level. That's going to be absolutely absurd. Now, this is me clicking, and this is how much quicker the auto clicker is. It's almost too fast at this point. We'll save that for an emergency perhaps. But we officially broke 100,000 candies. We're going to keep on going because we're going to hit level 10 soon. But also we can also buy the candy farm. That's going to give us 2,000 candies per second. So we went from 230 to 2,230. So we're making about 10 times as much as we just were. So I'll probably buy a few more steel cursors then because we can certainly afford it at this point. And those bonuses were huge. Just 82,000 candies. Give me more of these. Okay, we're up to 360 per click. Plus I'd better buy the more per level up. So now we're getting 3 sugar lumps every time we level up. I was hoping they didn't scale like that, like the next one would only be 15, because at 3 per level up, it wouldn't be hard to get that. So let's start making some investments here. Make 20% more candy per click, times several. So that gives us 522.7 per click. Then we're going to upgrade the candy farm, maybe a few times, because that doubled our passive income. We're going to do it again, so we're up to 6,200 per second. All by itself, which is actually faster than my clicking right now unless I use the auto clicker. But there's another level up. We're going to grab 150,000 of auto things and then we're going to get 20% more candy per second times a few. I feel like I only bought 2 upgrades there despite the fact I should be getting 3. And I think it's probably worth it to save up for the candy mine at 1 million candies rather than upgrade the candy farm, at least right now. There's officially 1 million owned, so we can buy the candy mine. That's going to take us from 9,000 candies per second to 44,000 candies per second because of my level bonuses. And then since I've got another level up right away and the bonuses and the golden candies, we can actually just buy another candy mine right away. 80,000 candies per second. Clicking hardly seems worth it anymore. Okay, so I should have 3 of these. Oh, I see, they scale in cost. That's where the mistake is coming in. All right, well, let's make 20% more candies per second. And that actually brings us pretty close to 100,000 per second, especially when I buy this, 140,000 per second. But the clicking is really what gets me the level ups. And these golden candies are now giving us about 2/3 660,000 per candy. As far as the level ups are concerned, I'm going to save up for the +1 more sugar per level because the way it's scaling, we're just going to need that. I want more from my clicking, so I'm going to auto click steel cursor. So that's going to take us from 522 all the way up to 2,600 per click. And I think that leveled us up a lot because I had a lot of gold candies coming in, but there's 2,600 per click. That still doesn't really compare to our passive income, but we'll get there eventually. Especially when I can just go like this. I can even grab the gold candies and get back to clicking. That's actually too fast. I blew past my target. There's a candy factory, 15 million, produces 200,000 candies per second. We're currently doing 140, so that brought us up to about 500,000 candies per second. The next upgrade does cost 200 million. I can't believe we're getting into the hundreds of millions already. But these are worth several million by themselves. Plus we clicked enough to get our next sugar upgrade. This is definitely one of the better clicker games I've played lately. That might again be the coffee talking. Oh, and we still have a level up to go, so let's just get 20% more per gold candy because those actually add up. Then we're going to upgrade the candy factory, so that's going to give us an extra 400,000 per second. So we're making 1.1 million candies per second. So now it would only take us about 200 seconds to get the gold cursor, but I don't want to wait that long. We're up to about 75 million. Let's buy more candy factories, and we're going to level up some more. I'm going to want to make more candy per second. So in total, so far, I've only made 168 million. We can do better. I looked away for a second to drink coffee, 280 million candies, which means we can buy a gold cursor. That means we're going to make 500,000 per click. We're making 2,600 now, so that's a pretty big increase. Now we can actually make a difference in our money again, because if we can click about 3 times per second, we're matching our passive income, but I can go faster than 3 times per second because I have this. So we'll buy some candy factories. Each one of these clicks is 200,000 per second, so that was obviously a lot of clicks. 5 million per second. I'm already so overpowered and rich that I've been mostly ignoring these levels. I got another 20 levels, so I'm probably just going to save up another 20 to get the 40, and then we can buy more of that stuff again. I've already made 1 billion candies now. That wasn't long from our last update where we had 160 million. We are well on our way to $3 billion candy lab, but let's buy some more candy factories while we're waiting because that's just going to help us down the road anyway, somewhat. Then we're going to buy another golden cursor, so now we're making 1.5 million per click, 500 million candies, so we're going to go ahead and buy another cursor, and then probably buy another cursor because why wouldn't we? Makes me wonder how big the numbers actually get. And I just realized I should take advantage of the clicking right now, so I'm just going to do this for a second because as soon as I buy the next candy factory, the clicking is not going to be worth it anymore. So we'll maybe cut it off something like here at about $4 billion because we're going to buy the candy lab. That's going to give me 45 million per second. So we're now up to 100 million candies per second, which means we make 1 billion every 10 seconds without any clicking. If I do click as fast as I can boost that number still a little bit. But I would need to click 33 times per second to match my passive income, and that just doubled. This one really keeps up with itself. Oh, and I got the proper upgrade for this, so now we're getting +1 sugar per level up, and now we're going to buy like 20% more candy per click. That's going to help a little bit. We could spend about $9 billion on a better clicker though. Is that going to be worth it? I guess we'll find out the hard way. That was a lot of levels. We're making 13 million per click, so that's actually still not bad considering even just without an auto clicker we can go this quick. Then I can level up to get more per gold candy click. That's gonna add up because we get a lot of gold candies. Because I am a professional clicker after all, we're now getting 5 per level, and these are getting us over $1 billion each. So let's take 20% more candy per second. That's gonna add a pretty big increase. 232 million per second now. So we'll buy some more candy labs, and that puts us up to 680 million per second. We're getting close to $1 billion per second, and that's okay because the upgrades are getting expensive. These ones are 2 billion per upgrade, and we are about to level up again, so that's going to give us some gold candies and some sugar to spend. So we're going to take an extra 20% candy per second. That added 200 million per second all by itself. Then we're going to make 20% more per click. I wasn't even paying attention, but we already made enough for the candy temple, which is basically going to double our income. It's going to add an extra 650 plus bonuses. Okay, that tripled our income to 2.76 billion per second. So that's currently basically a cursor upgrade every 3 seconds. Obviously that's going to scale, but you get the idea. We can get a lot of cursor upgrades. And there's another level up because I was upgrading the candy lab because I realized the cost of it is still kind of effective. And we got another level up here with the sugars, so 20% more candy per click. And if we auto click now, the yellow bar still goes very quickly and we make a lot of money. So after letting the auto clicker run for just a second, It really kind of breaks the game. We'll go to this next level up though. We actually made almost 1 trillion candies there, so we might as well just let it hit that. But you know you're making progress when your progress slows down like this. The numbers are hardly moving. But that means I can buy a diamond cursor for $750 billion. That's going to make an extra 800 million per click. So we're going to go from 42 million all the way up to 2 billion per click, which puts our income to even more absurd levels. So even just casually clicking like this, I've quickly made back $1 trillion. But we're going to buy some more candy temples also, just so our income can jump up a little bit. There's 22 billion per second, so every 5 seconds there's about 100 billion, every 50 seconds there's 1 trillion. And that was before I upgraded the diamond cursor again, so now 4 billion per click. 20 clicks makes $100 billion. And since I got 41 of these to spend, we're just going to get more candy per second times 80%. Then more candy per click. That itself brought us up to 45 billion per second, and we're going to buy a bunch of the candy temples. I'm going to auto click these. So we're now up to 77 billion per second without any clicking. Now that number is moving by itself. If I auto click, that number goes up very quickly. And so do the level ups. It's only been 30 minutes. That flew by. I've been lost in this beautiful game. And to be fair, normally it does take a lot longer to hit the trillions in these kind of games. But speaking of which, here's a candy rocket that's going to get me 10 billion per second. And that pushes up to 154 billion per second, so it's only going to take us 6-7 seconds to make $1 trillion now. And that's without clicking, which I love. The goldfish now get us about 1 trillion per click. Our cursor is going to go up quite a bit, so now every click there is 17 billion. There's always something to click on here, and it's just great. So we're going to make 20% more per second. That's going to give us like a 20-30 billion boost. We'll make our gold candy better too while we're at it. I'm going to buy some more candy temples. I don't know when the cost effect loses. They probably all kind of scale together now that I think about it. But we're up to 214 billion per second, 20 billion per click. Now the candy rocket still adds 10 billion per second, but with all the bonuses that actually adds up to more like 70, so we're getting about 7 times what it tells us. Pretty soon we're going to start getting into the quadrillions for the candy man. It will take a little while to get there, but we're going to get there. So as you'll be buying at the diamond cursor, candy rocket, and then we're going to grab these for $3 to $4 trillion each. Then we buy another candy rocket. This is where I can feel the progress starting to slow. I've saved up $115 trillion, and it's going to be a little bit hard still to reach the next 250 trillion. That is called a time machine, so I wonder if that's where we prestige. We're going to buy some candy rockets now, which puts us up to almost 1 trillion per second now, and then we're going to buy some more diamond cursors. Then if I buy this, that's probably almost going to put us there, very close to 1 trillion per second. So no, it will only take 250 seconds naturally to get the time machine, and I'm very excited for it. But I also can't help myself. I need to see that number go over 1 trillion. And we're going to do that one more time. 1.15 trillion per second without any extra effort. So I'm still getting a natural cursor upgrade every 3 seconds or so. Now it's every 5 seconds. Now it's every 6 seconds. I clicked my way to another level up, so we're going to get an extra 20 per second, because eventually I'm going to get tired of clicking. Even using the auto clicker, there's 10,000 clicks, by the way. It's still going to take a second to get that time machine for 250 trillion. So the time machine doesn't seem to prestige us, but it does give us 300 billion candies per second, which we said is about times 7, so that's going to add 2.1 trillion. So that's going to add us to about between 3.5 and 4 trillion per second, 4.5 trillion. But a couple minutes ago, we were thrilled to break 1 trillion. I'm already up to 5 trillion. Plus the extra per second is going to add up. Now we're up to 5.5. And I think it's safe to say we're not going to buy any more of these. We could buy one of these a lot cheaper, and it's going to make a much bigger difference. So we're up to 10 trillion per second. The clicks, on the other hand, really are my bread and butter so far. We get 62 billion for these. We made a total of 1 quadrillion candies. We haven't really seen if there's a market for these yet. We're just kind of producing them. We haven't sold a single one. As far as business plans go, this isn't a good one. We're clearly able to produce a large quantity, but they're probably not very good considering I summoned them out of the air. Anyways, 2 more time machines puts us up to 17 trillion per second. So I'd still have to click about 30 times per second if my math is correct to make up what I'm earning naturally per second. Where I go like that and it probably does it and more. I don't know how fast the auto clicker is, but it's pretty quick. Because that blew us up into 2 quadrillion candies, so let's spend just a little bit out on time machines. Now we're up to 30 trillion per second. Alright, well let's summon the candy man.
We don't have to do that.
That still kind of blows my mind, because even with the auto clicker going this quickly, it's taking that long to hit the quadrillion mark.
The 5 quadrillion we need for Candyman.
But we did it. He's going to add 10 trillion per second times, I don't know, a factor of 10 or something at this point. So there's 150 trillion per second. It's hard to even quantify that in my brain, what just happened. That's such a stupidly big number. But every 6 seconds now, we're gonna make $1 quadrillion. Just like in real life, am I right? That's a trick question. I'm never right. We are getting pretty close to infinity though. And I have a feeling once we get the magic cursor, it's going to be easy to get there because, this. I was gonna save up for this, but I don't want to save up 80, so we're just gonna get an extra 20%, 20%, and then we'll get some more clicks. So we got an extra 40% of our passive income, which means every 2.5 seconds we make $1 quadrillion, which is good, not quite good enough, but we'll get there. A great way to fix that though would be buying some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we just increased our income to almost 3 times its level. Whatever the case, we're now making $1.2 quadrillion every second, which is a big jump up. Or enough for an upgrade every 10 seconds. And as weird as this sounds, we can just keep buying the Candyman. We also get $13 quadrillion for those. More Candyman, we're up to $2 quadrillion per second. Which means it's really only going to take 30 seconds now to buy the magic cursor, which is going to take our income probably up quite a bit. I mean, I'm no scientist, full disclosure, but we can now buy the magic cursor, 200 trillion candies per click. So we're going to go from 89 billion to 860 trillion, basically a quadrillion per click, which will push us nicely along. And there is a rebirth. Can I even afford anything? I can get 20% more per click. So why would I not? So we're going to spend the next $365 quadrillion on Candyman. We're going to have an army of Candyman. But we're up to 3.5 quadrillion naturally. And including this, we're up to, I don't know what that is, 10, 20 quadrillion per second, but we can still do a little better. Let's upgrade the magic cursor and then auto click. There's some income we like. I don't know how many that is per second, but it's a stupid amount. So after letting that run for a second, we're gonna hold it there at about 3.2 quintillion candies. Then we're gonna get an extra passive boost and then gold candy boost. Then I'm going to become a god, and that's gonna produce us 5 quadrillion candies per second. Plus the bonuses equals, I don't know what we just did, but that number probably jumped up 100 quadrillion per second. It's enough to pay for its next upgrade instantly, basically. Like, look at that number go. So we're making 2 quadrillion per click. Let's buy a few of the, wow, we're making a lot of money. We'll buy another candy god. Now we're up to, well, we're gonna make $1 quintillion every 3 seconds. Oh, never mind, we're gonna make $1 quintillion every 2 seconds. Then we're gonna go back to auto clicking for just a minute, which is gonna put us in the ballpark of 300 quintillion candies, which I'm then gonna spend on candy gods. So we should be able to buy a fair few of those. Now we make 2.5 quintillion every second. So instead of a fraction of that, we're now making multiples of them. Then we're going to buy some magic cursors, a lot of magic cursors. Now we're making 34 quadrillion per click. And the gold candies are worth about $30 quintillion all by themselves, which means I can make 20% more per candy. There's a 60% increase on our income. We're up to about 5 quintillion per second. So I think we made our point here. For 100 quintillion, we can have a rebirth where we get 2 times candy earnings and our sugar stays. So instead of making 1 per click, we're making 10 per click. We have 10 times the income already. So after the auto click, that's making 38.3. That gave us 0.5 the first time around. So then we're going to buy the cursor. We're now up to 20 per click already. So basically all we have to do is go like this. I bet you I can get through the whole game in less than 5 minutes flat. So far so good. We're tearing through the game. I haven't even bought any upgrades yet. Like the multiplier is so big right now. It's all just so stupidly easy. We can just probably buy a few of these, go like this. It's only going to take a second before we can afford the next one, which is over here. We're going to buy these, then we're going to go back over here, and then we're going to go back over here, and then we're going to keep going. Honestly, as long as the auto clicker doesn't crash the entire computer, I think we could probably just go through the entire game like this with really minimal effort. As long as we're buying whatever the newest upgrade is, and I'm able to actually scroll. There's a diamond thing, there's one of those, there's a few of those. We're already up to the trillions. It's been like 10 seconds since we restarted. The multiplier is just ridiculous. Because we're making $1 trillion per second, there's a candy rocket, there's some more of those. Keep going with the level up. Auto clickers are the best invention ever. Okay, we do need to take a little time out here though to buy more multipliers here. So let's get more, do we want per click? Yeah, we want per click. Okay, that put our income up a stupid amount again. And back to the auto clicking. So 77 trillion passively per second. We can buy the Candyman for the first time. Now we're up to 1.6 quadrillion. We're going to buy the magic cursor because that's where the magic comes in. And we're already up to our first quintillion dollars. That basically happened in real time. So obviously these multipliers are worth it. There's the Candyman again, and we're back to Rebirth already. Wait, we need technically 100 quintillion to do it, but you get the idea. We're basically there. Let's just buy a few more whatever these are. There we go. Look at that number go up. There's 30 quintillion, 40 quintillion, 50. All we need is 100. we've made a total of 1 sextillion candies. 1 sextillion. That's like more money than there's ever been on Earth ever. So yeah, that was quick. What do you spend 1.94 sextillion on? Let's make our clicker extra high. Then we're going to spend all this on a magic cursor. So we now make 357 quadrillion per click. And if we go like that, obviously I don't know what we're making per second. It's a lot of money. We could do it again, but I'm very satisfied. This is a good one. We've got $10 in a dream. And the first step is adding a shaft to that dream. And that shaft comes with a very happy, shiny man. So that means we've officially hit level 1. Or at least once we put him to work, he's going to work his way over to level 1, and he unlocked another shiny man. Okay, that's the elevator man. Once this guy digs the crap out of the ground, he carries it over to the other shiny man, who then transports it to the surface, presumably where the other guy's going to go ahead and pick it up. I just need to be here to click on things continually. You think they're hiding some incredible pain behind those smiles? I'd wager they are, because they work for me. And there's my first $42. I would buy some upgrades, but I want to make these guys suffer for a little bit first. You, back to work. He's going to keep working because we've got a long, long ways to dig. I'm sure there's some good stuff down here somewhere. If this is magma, I want them to dig straight into it and then continually throw themselves into it. Once he's piled up this last bit of stuff, we're going to send $100 to the surface, which we're going to sell, and then we're going to see what we can buy for $140 something. Maybe some less creepy idiots to run my mines for me. So for $13, we can upgrade. We can upgrade again for 17, upgrade again for 23. I guess I might as well upgrade as far as I can for now. There is Mineshaft 1, level 6, which means he has a higher capacity, faster mining speed, and his total extraction is making me more money now. And we can buy another ghost. So he's now making about $34 every time he digs out of the ground, and a manager. That way someone can do the work for me and I can just not be here anymore. At least I'm assuming that's what a manager does. Hire manager. Not enough cash, right? We actually have to sell it before we're allowed to buy stuff. You get to work. I don't really know why they need instruction to do their one and only job again and again and again, but apparently they do. $100, give me the manager. This is Glenn Gravely. He has an effect of 3 times mining speed boost. That sounds great. Go ahead and use that now. Work away. Okay, hiring the manager was clearly worth it. He only cost $100 and he's already made my miner mine $100, and it's been 15 seconds. But how long is he gonna have that smile on his face for? If he doesn't earn me a lot of money in the next 2 seconds, I'm throwing him into a volcano. I guess he did pretty good. There's $672, so I'm gonna hire managers for these other idiots, as long as they're not too expensive. Can he only take so much at a time? Didn't realize that was a thing. That's okay. I've never seen someone so happy to push a cart of rocks around. How much is your manager? $100? Okay, can we get that sold already? Thank you. So we're going to get Bob Burger. He's going to do whatever he does, and then we're going to hire whoever this guy is, Rudy Rodman. Now we're at that fun part where I don't have to do anything anymore, because my idle cash seems to be at about 50 cents per second. I accidentally touched a man, and now he's glowing. I'm not really sure what he does, so let's go ahead and try and activate the other power, because we might as well. Wow, look at him go now. He's so quick. But he doesn't really have anything to take back and forth, but one could conclude that if you're going to be working for me, you're probably going to be pushing an empty cart around a lot. But we've now made over $1,000, so let's level up again. Let's see if we can get this up to level 10. Thanks to that simple upgrade, we're now making 3 times as much passively. We're up to $1.5 a second. The next shaft is going to cost $2,600. That shouldn't take us long to make, but also I'm going to upgrade this because at level 25, it gets another special upgrade. And for now, it's just going to make me more money anyways. Upgrading the next 10 levels is going to cost $5,760. I also need to pay special attention to my elevator manager. Not because he's the elevator manager, but because his skill is minus 40% upgrade costs. And I just realized I have 2 idiot tunnelers now, who I'm going to turn super speed thanks to the glowing manager. And there we go. A short speed boost later, we're up to $8,200, which means we can buy the 10 upgrades we need to get him making us more money, which puts us up to about $4 per second. And since we have an extra $3,000, let's upgrade the elevator to level 3 apparently. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying attention to how much that costs. But that's alright, because we're going to make this manager glow, which should make upgrades cheaper, but apparently not the new shaft. It will make upgrades like this a little bit cheaper, but I don't want upgrades there. I need my new shaft to make more money right now. There we go. So now, not only do we have cash as a currency, we have super cash, which I don't want right now. I want this idiot to get to work, and that's all I want. Plus, it is awarded me 2 times income for 1 hour for all mines, so we're going to take advantage of that. That's going to help to jump me ahead. Especially once I buy a manager for this idiot, only $200. We buy... Okay, we can buy managers without using them apparently. They probably have different skills. I'm not too worried about that yet. Now we're starting to make some money. I'm not sure if my elevator guy can even make it to level 2 right now, but we'll figure that out as we go. I swapped out my Shaft 2 manager because she has a power to make the miners walk faster. Even if it's only for a minute and a little short walk, it's worth it. We're also going to upgrade this miner. maybe not. They're pretty expensive to mine. We're gonna leave them alone for a minute. What I am gonna upgrade is my elevator guy as many times as I can, because I really need to find a way to get him down to shaft 2. Okay, he does make his way down to shaft 2 automatically when shaft 1 is empty. But that's okay, things will work out. He's moving money for now. I'm gonna keep upgrading him so he can carry as much money as possible to the surface, but he's doing his thing automatically. $6,000 later and I can make him hit level 10. That should give him a pretty good boost to help me move more of that money to the surface. And yeah, look at him go now. That's much better. He's taking $16,000 in one single load to the top. Now I've got to upgrade Happy Cart Guy to be able to carry more money across that way, because $1,000 at a time is not good enough. At least with those upgrades he can carry 2.3 thousand. So the faster he goes, the faster he pays for his own upgrades to make me more money. We're already up to $43 a second. We're at 50 cents a second not that long ago. And there we are, Idiot's gonna hit level 10, and I just realized his next boost is at level 20, so that's a little ways away. For now, he's going to take that many upgrades, and that's just going to have to be good enough for now. And just like that, we're up to $57,000 because Idiot's actually carrying a considerable amount across his screen finally. $14,400 at a time. And that means we can upgrade our Shaft 2 miner because he's going to start to make me some pretty big money pretty quickly. And we got him all the way to level 10 already. So let's get him a few more upgrades. That little investment put me up to $160 a second, which quickly gives me almost $100,000. So let's put another shaft in. And we don't want this. Okay, just for fun, I did end up watching the ad. And it gave me $96 million. So I feel like I've got a surplus of money suddenly, and I don't really know what to do with all that money. So we're going to put a manager on him mining dirt. We're up to $158 a second. And because I don't actually really want a giant surplus of money right now, I'm going to spend the entirety of that money on my level 1 miners. They're going to get 68 levels, but that's probably worth it. Now, well, they're still making way too much money right now, but that's okay. I don't want to spend that kind of money and jump myself too far ahead, though they're making like $300,000 a second still, but that's whatever. We'll deal with this by upgrading our mine shaft 3 to level 10, so they're going to make extra money, and then we could probably even upgrade our little buyer guy to give him 10 levels for $198,000. And while we're at it, well, his next boost is at level 50. That's a little ways away, but we're making money pretty quickly, so let's give him at least that much. And it would be cool to get our elevator to its next boost at level 40. I just don't know if I've got the money for that. Gonna cost another $2.3 million on top of what I have right now. So as quick as we're making money, we're actually kind of catching up to that level of earnings, because it didn't take as long at all to upgrade him up to level 40, so he gets a nice boost. And then maybe we'll also upgrade our level 2 miners. They're gonna go another 10 levels, another 10 levels on top of that. So that gives them a boost, and it's going to get expensive after that to bring them to the next level. But we are currently at $9,700 a second, and I'm still sinking new shafts. This one cost $1.5 million. And that's pretty good because the next one is going to cost $31 million. We're going to hire a manager for $800, and she's just going to have to work. And now I see where things are going to start to get expensive. We're in a coal mine right now. Next will be the gold mine, and that's going to cost $76.8 AB. I don't really know what that means, and then we got all these other lands to unlock after that. This one is 275 AH, this is AI, and I have a feeling these are going to go on for a long time. So in hindsight, I maybe could have spent that $100 million a little more intelligently, but if you're here for intelligence, you're here for the wrong reasons. But these Shaft 4 miners are making a lot of money. Every one of their upgrades is going to cost in the millions, but they're going to be worth it because we can take this guy from, well, that to that. He's now making $36,000 a second all by himself. And that's obviously considerable because we're making about $10,000 a second before those upgrades. And then I'm still going to upgrade him a few times. I need him to get to level 10. All I'm going to need are 3 more levels for my Shaft 4 miner, and he's going to be making some pretty big money. We even have enough to do that right now. With almost $10 million left over, we're starting to make some pretty good money. He's now making $81,000 a second. While we're at it, let's upgrade our Shaft 3 miners, hopefully up to level 25, but it's going to start getting expensive quickly. The last upgrade is going to cost $2.5 million, and I've got $2.5 million left at that point, but our money per second has gone up again. And I think the warehouse is a little bit of a bottleneck for me. 10 levels is going to cost $2.6 million, the next 10 levels is going to cost $8.8 million. We'll be there in no time, but that's going to give him a pretty big boost. And a big boost for him means a big boost for me. There he goes, so now he can carry $654,000 a second. So there's 2 of them now, and they're able to carry almost $6 million per load. So let's also upgrade our Shaft 2 miners. They're not the most expensive and valuable of the miners, but every one of these we can upgrade is going to help. $20 million for this upgrade, but they're making $139,000 a second. Plus, my Shaft 1 miners are almost level 100. It's probably going to cost me $100 million to get them there, but I feel like that's probably worth it at this point, because the money's earnings going up, and at level 100, I'm sure there's a big boost. It's gonna cost me another $60 million, but I've got time if you do. And we made that money pretty quickly because clearly I'm an awesome miner and has nothing to do with these idiots doing all the work. So level 100, we're going from $112,000 a second to $323,000 a second. That was worth the upgrade. And I've got $50 million left over, so let's get another shaft. We're gonna run into a barrier pretty soon. It's gonna take a while to move, but that's okay. Let's hire a manager for idiot. And here's a cool effect. For 10 minutes, there's a minus 80% upgrade cost, so that's actually very helpful. How much is he making right now? This guy alone makes $175,000 a second, so we're going to upgrade him as we can, but at $36 million a level to start, that's going to get expensive fast. I wanted to upgrade my very happy elevator man. The next boost is at level 80, but to get him there is going to cost about $1 billion. I don't have $1 billion yet, but what I can do is give him another 10 levels, then another 10 levels on top of that. So now he can transport $1.96 million a second, or $36 million a load. The game was kind enough just now to reward me with $1.79 billion. Mostly because it's trying to get me addicted to buying stuff, which is kind of stupid of it because I don't need help getting addicted to buying stuff. I'm more than capable of wasting my money on crap all by myself. 60 seconds of intriguing ads later and we've finished our unlock. And then it's going to hit me with another ad, but the next shaft is going to cost $6.2 billion. So maybe for now, let's just upgrade our elevator guy. The way is taking $35 million a load right now. We can give him at least that much. Well, you know what? It's only 10 levels to another boost anyway. We'll give him that much. Now he can take $352 million a load. And then we're going to upgrade our mineshaft 5 by 10 levels. That's going to cost almost $1 billion by itself, but he's now making $980,000 a second. Then I activated super manager power so they're all glowing, doing their thing, making idiots work as fast as possible. Shaft 4 idiots are going to get an upgrade to level 25 to hopefully get a pretty good boost. And we don't have enough money to get there. They're currently making $300,000 a second though, so I'll cut them some slack. As the elevator goes down, you can see how much money he's collecting. The lower one is $6 million every load. The top one's about $2 million. So we have lots of capacity on the elevator. I need these guys mining more money. Mostly these guys. I need these guys to hit level 25. $105 million should be enough to boost these two up to level 25, which puts them up to $604,000 a second, or $1.88 million per load. And I'm starting to think that the bottleneck is the gentleman walking across at the top. We need more of them working faster. So I'm going to spend $60 million doing that, which isn't going to give me a ton of upgrades, but at least now they can take $2.48 million a second, or $22 million per load. And they're both taking $22 million loads right now, so I feel like there's a surplus in my elevator. Then while I'm waiting for something exciting to happen, I'm just going to upgrade my most valuable miners, the Shaft 5 guys. They're going to get very expensive quickly, but every one of those upgrades pays for itself pretty quickly. And then I'm going to spend another $164 million getting these guys another 10 levels to make them carry more. Now they can carry $58 million per load. Hopefully that gets a little bit caught up. There's $58 million from that guy and $58 million from that guy. I feel like we've got a lot of money stored in our elevator. So I'm actually going to spend another $550 million upgrading those carts. So they can now carry $150 million, which apparently was a little too much because they're all caught up. They're running back and forth carrying nothing currently. And then the elevator man seems perfectly able to keep up now. He's carrying $18 million per load, so he's still under capacity, so we need to mine more to keep him up. Our Shaft 5 miners are getting another investment. That's going to bring them all the way up to level 23. Probably going to have to upgrade the elevator again soon, but for now I've only got $100 million, so patience. And we now have enough to bring Mineshaft 5 up to level 25, which is going to give them a pretty big boost. So currently they can carry $8.74 million each. Now they can carry $18.8 million each. But I'm also going to invest everything I have right now, $600 million, into a better elevator. I need him moving a little bit quicker. And my idle cash is now up to $1.43 million a second. Every time that elevator goes up and down, he's carrying about $45 million, and he's doing that a lot. While I'm waiting to save up some more billions of dollars, I'm going to upgrade some of my mid-level miners. Mineshaft 3 gets an extra 10 levels. 10 levels on top of that for $222 million, and then another 5 levels on top of that, or probably another $500 million. But that puts the worker capacity up to $2.6 million. The game was kind enough to let me watch another ad to double my money for a little while, so now this guy's carrying $50 million for a lot of his trips up the elevator, but also $100 million for a lot of his trips. And that gives me enough for a whole new shaft. And I bet these guys are going to be making me a lot of money. This guy can extract $52 million a second. His capacity is $315 million at level 0. So we'd better give him a manager who's going to give him a boost of 3 times mining speed when I use it, which I'm obviously going to use right away because look at all that money. So he's already put $2 billion into the thing. My elevator can't even take that fast enough. So we're going to make some pretty quick money here. So I'm going to spend another $3 billion just on the elevator because I need to take him from $922 million a load up to $2.69 billion a load. We're going to give him one more level to make him an even 100. Same thing with my selling idiots. 1.86 billion to bring them up 10 levels. If I can get another 5 out of them, then they can move a whole bunch of money. Currently, they can take $390 million each per level. So yeah, we need to get them to level 100. Then they should be good for a little while. Now they can carry $628 million per load. So there's no loss of efficiency at the top. And that seems to work out not bad. There's $6.2 billion in my elevator right now, but that's going to drop pretty quickly because they're going to take it over and sell it. But then I'm going to upgrade my Shaft 6 miner as many times as I can because he's going to make a fortune. He's very expensive to use, but it's going to be worth it. We need to get him to level 10 because every level right now increases his money per second by 5.6 million. It wasn't that long ago that $100 million seemed like a ridiculous amount of money. Now it seems like nothing. I've made $33 billion and that blew by. And pretty soon billions are going to start to seem small. So I sent this idiot on an expedition and he just came back with like a 5 times multiplier for 5 minutes. So I'm going to make a lot of money for 5 minutes. Okay, it's a 10 times multiplier for 5 minutes. I obviously should save this for a time when I'm making more money, but I don't want to wait. And would you look at that? There's $68 billion already. So as per usual, we're going to take advantage of the boost and upgrade him one more time. So he's going to go from making $675 million a load to 742. And we're currently making $251 million a second. So $1 billion every 4 seconds, which means we've already made 150 billion. So we can open up a new shaft. It definitely requires a manager, but that's perfectly fine. He comes with a 5 times mining speed boost. So he's also going to use that because this guy is going to make so much money. It's almost ridiculous. But to level him up once costs $145 billion. That's going to get expensive. But we're going to need to start making more money because the next shaft costs $2.5 trillion. So let's level him up one time for now. And then we might need to upgrade my elevator because he's getting caught up taking stuff from the higher mine floors. He's not making it to the bottom yet because he's getting full before he gets there. And that's honestly just a really good problem to have. So let's give him another 10, 20 levels. And then another level up for him for 168 billion, then one more for 195 billion. And they have $154 billion sitting in their box. So let's upgrade that elevator another 10 levels for $80 billion. And we're also going to do the warehouse another 10 levels because that's only 11 billion. Then we're going to do another one for 40 billion. Just because I want to make sure everyone's moving the dirt as efficiently as possible. And that seems to be working because we just broke $1 trillion, though my 10 times multiplier is running out in another 5 seconds. So that's kind of sad, but we definitely got our money's worth out of that. So our Shaft 7 miners, let's level them up as many times as we can again. This one's going to cost 260 billion, this one's 302 billion, and we get one more for 350 billion. That puts them all the way up to level 8, so they get a big bonus at 2 levels. I might also try and have our Mineshaft 6 guys hit level 25 because they'll actually be making quite a bit of money at that point. It's going to cost a bit of money to get there, but not nearly as expensive as the miners below them. So, speaking of buying things, somehow I wound up with a 50 times multiplier and a 100 times multiplier for 5 minutes. What happens if we use them both at the same time? I feel like that's going to wind up being a lot of money. I didn't really think this through, but I never really do. We have a 300 times multiplier right now. So anyway, yeah, $1.54 trillion in cash. So let's get these guys up to level 25 so they can make some real money. And then we're going to unlock this new shaft because we don't have a lot of time to get this going. Does this do something? This is eating up my time. I don't know how this works. Okay, no time for the wheel. I've got stuff to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade this guy as many times as I can, and I'm also going to buy him a manager. So this boost is put us up to $21.1 billion a second. But that's putting us into the trillions and keeping us there for a long, long time. Okay, I've got to be quick with this. I only have 3.5 minutes left in my super multiplier. It's tempting just to try and save up the $50 trillion I'm going to need, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that much money in time. Mostly because of my lack of, infrastructure. We could probably get this guy, the elevator, actually leveled up to where he needs to be. 1.5 trillion? Yeah, there's elevator level 50, so he gets a huge boost to what he can move. And then same thing for my warehouse guys. Let's put their upgrades into the trillions. So now they can move $12.3 billion a second. And we can have my Mineshaft 8 guys hit level 10. So they're going to be making stupid amounts of money now. They can move $74.2 billion per load, or $24 billion a second. And there's my $50 trillion for the new shaft very suddenly, thanks to my upgraded everything. So you get to work. We're going to hire your manager for $1.3 million. Yep, that works for me. Never mind. Take that one then and get to work. His first level of upgrade costs $57 trillion. But we're gonna do it because he makes $57 billion a second, basically from level 1. The next shaft at level 10 costs about $1 quadrillion all by itself. But we'll get there. My elevator man is still struggling a little bit to take all this money to the surface. So I'm going to give him another $5 trillion worth of upgrades to hopefully move that money a little quicker while we've got 48 seconds left on our super bonus. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my warehouse guys. There's 5 trillion and another 17 trillion to their upgrades. Just need them to move a few more things. 15 seconds left on the bonus, but that's already worth it. Because that little load right there went from $131 trillion to $577 trillion. But that's a lot of money. The bonus is over. We have $580 trillion to work with right now, so I'm just going to upgrade this guy probably 4 times. Which sucks because he can't hit level 10. He is making $111 billion a second though, so we'll get there. Plus, we've unlocked research, and apparently there's a lot of things we can research. We just gotta work our way down the chain. The coal mine generates 40% more coal. Well, yes, I think we'll go ahead and unlock that. Not that it was doing too poorly before this. Even right now at its whatever base rate is $23 billion a second. So if I use the Shaft 9 Manager to make the upgrade cost 70% less, does that actually lower their... It does. Okay, so we can make them hit level 10 for only $57 trillion. We're going to do that, and it's going to take them from $945 billion capacity to $1.04 trillion capacity. So by the time the elevator comes back, they're going to have put $6.2 trillion into the chest. So if we let them run at this rate for about a week, we'll be pretty rich. So we need to upgrade the Earth by clicking on it, thereby taking all of its energy away. Well, I'm all about that. Let's get started. Earth Clicker makes your clicks 2 times as powerful. Now we're getting 2 energy per click. And we gained over 100 energy so we can make 1 single campfire. That's all that's fueling the world. And that just gives me 1 energy per second, so I don't even have to click anymore. I just want to. And look at that, we're already back over 200, so we can make our clicker twice as powerful. So we're getting 4 energy per click, plus we're now getting an extra energy per second. I'm actually finding this clicking just strangely satisfying, so I'm even missing a lot of these upgrades on the left. Like I had 3 built up and I didn't even notice. Life's good when you can just wake up, drink coffee, and click on things. We'll buy a few more campfires, so we're making several energies per second without doing anything at all. Our next Earth clicker is going to be 2,000. And since that will take a second, we could probably start using the auto clicker. That goes a little bit faster. There's 500, 2,000. I like how this one's not at all limited by time. So we're going to double down on that. We're going to buy a few more campfires, and we're going to turn the auto clicker back on, and we're going to make even more money. There's 2,000. There's 3,000. There's 4,000. We might break something today. So if we buy a farm, we get 10 energy per second without doing anything, and we can afford a few of those because I have an auto clicker that's on steroids. And for those of you that always ask what auto clicker I use, it's just the Logitech one. It almost feels too easy to go this way. We're going to upgrade the campfires some more, so now we're making, I don't know, not quite 100 per second, but it's probably something like 50 per second. And we can increase our output if we get 20,000, so let's save up for 20,000. It's really only going to take a second anyways. To be fair, this did take more than a second, but not much more than a second. And there's even residual clicks that I have to wait to, there it is, and Earth Clicker. Now we make 16 per click. I feel like this is basically speedrunning a clicker game, and I'm all about that, but now we're going twice as fast, so there's 10,000 again, and we can buy an animal farm. We want lots of animals, which means we definitely need lots of animal farms. There's an extra few, that's going to give me an extra like 400 per second. So now that number's going up very big by itself, pretty soon I might not even have to click, but I'm still going to. I'm always going to. I looked away for a second and suddenly we're up to 200,000. So we're going to go from 16 per click to 32 per click. So saving up another 200,000 is going to take half the time. But we don't really need 200,000. We want 200,000. But we want our windmills because these are going to give me 1,000 per second. And we can buy at least one of them. So we're up to probably 1,500 per second. And we haven't even started on any of these other planets yet. 750 quadrillion. I want some of these, no millions. Here I was all proud of my numbers already. These are amateur numbers. We need to go much bigger. I'm gonna need a lot of coffee. And I've just realized there's an efficient way of doing this. I was turning my auto clicker off to buy things, but I can just leave it on and go like this, and it pretty much buys whatever I need. I'm basically made of productivity today. Between that and the coffee, nothing else exists in my being. But I think also we need a factory produces 5,000 per second. So now look at that number going up, and I'm not even clicking. And these basically pay for themselves because there's another factory upgrade. So now we're making an extra 10,000 per second over what we just were. And I thought we might be getting close to a prestige, but that's going to cost 1 decillion energy. I don't remember exactly how big that is, but I know it's pretty big. But I've got time if you do. Here's another 10,000 per second. I'm pretty sure the auto earnings are going to be beyond my clicking pretty soon. There's another 5,000 per second. So we're up to, I think, 25 or 30,000 per second now. My clicking does add a little bit of speed, but not that much anymore. We're actually auto earning more. So I'm going to need 2 million to step up my clicking game. I'm just taking all the energy from these planets. I'm technically making them energy, but I'm also taking it away again right away. Ever wondered what 10 million energy looks like? Neither have I, but we're about to see it. I kind of wish we got to see all the zeros laid out, but it still says 10 million, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to buy the Earth clicker, so we're going to go from 32 to 64 per click, and then we're basically already halfway to the next clicker. But since we saved our $10 million in no time at all, let's buy some factories. I don't know how many we're going to buy. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. So we just added 40,000 energy per second. Probably not going to take very long at all now to get the 20 million I need for the Earth clicker. I kind of just realized how cheap Mars is. It's only $1 million. So we should probably go ahead and buy that because I feel like it's going to help us in a big way. Like I can get extra clicks for only 100,000 right now, and I can get extra clicks again. So up to 256 per click. And then if I buy an oil mine, we can get 120,000 energy per second. So watch how fast this number is going up. Watch how fast it's going up now. And again, it's even quicker. So I should be paying more attention to how much these cost. Okay, Jupiter's $150 billion, which makes sense. It's a pretty big planet. So we're going to save up for that. But I'm also going to be sure to fill out the planets as we go. 5.25 million is definitely worth it. Every once in a while, we'll jump back to Earth to spend a few bucks on it. I'm not actually here to help the planets. I just turned them into a giant colossus of clicking and energy. Speaking of which, there's 40 million. So we're going to buy the coal power plant. That's going to give me 1.5 million per second. So that pushed our income way higher. So we're already making a few $1 million per second, and that's going to go up very fast. Like we've already saved up $65 million. The next big upgrade is 500 million, but that's going to give me 50 million per second. We just broke 500 million, which is $500 million, but now we can buy a nuclear power plant. So we click on that, and now we're making 60 million per second. And that's without clicking. I mean, we're back up to 500 million already. I didn't even do anything, and we're back to 5. So let's add another 50 million per second. So we're now making, I don't know, 110 million per second. Even by the time I'm done saying this, we're already ready for the next upgrade. And we can also upgrade our clicker a few times. Maybe on Earth too, yeah. Okay, so now what are our clicks up to? 4,000. And we just landed completely into the billions, so we'll maybe upgrade the Earth a little more. I'm not really sure why, but at least I want my clicker. Then we'll upgrade the nuclear power plant a few more times, and I don't know how much we're making per second, but it's hundreds of millions. Our clicking's up to 8,000. Let's give it one more upgrade. Now it's up to 16,000, so when I go like this, I don't know if that really makes a difference compared to our income, but it's fun. And we're over 8 billion. That means I can buy Martian technology, 750 million per second. So we're probably actually at about 1 billion per second at this point. So that means we can buy the next Martian technology right away. And that gave us an extra 750 million per second. And again, and we can even buy a few of these maybe. That still gives us, well, that was probably 500 million per second. Look at how fast the money's going up now. We're up to $120 billion, which is more than a little bit. We're going to buy some more Martian technology with that. They are getting expensive, so at some point it's kind of less worth it. But because nothing here seems to change at level 10 or 25, it's generally better to go for the more expensive of upgrades. We could still do this a little bit just for fun. These basically make their money back as soon as I buy them. Like I can't afford it now, there it is again. I can't afford it again, but there it is again. And I just kind of want to be sure when we hit the next planet that we have a nice healthy start to it. I don't want to be waiting around. I don't have time for that. I'm a very busy person. We saved up about $1.5 trillion, which is certainly more than I've ever had before. So instead of buying the next planet, let's get more of this technology. That's just going to help us with our income moving into the next planet. The money's definitely going up pretty quickly. I don't know, it's 30 billion per second or something thereabouts. I think now that I have another $1.5 trillion, which is 10 times more than I need to buy Jupiter, we're going to buy Jupiter, because then I can start with a hydrogen fusion reactor. That's going to earn us $100 billion per second. I guess we'll buy some of these other ones too. We'll make our clicks more powerful, 32,000 per click. This is going to give me $5 billion per second, which isn't really a lot. Not anymore anyway. It's cheap enough we'll buy a few of them, I guess, because it's not even putting a dent in our number yet. We do want to make our clicks 2 times as powerful, so we're going to go back to the beginning because they only cost $20 billion here. These usually seem so expensive. I'll even spend up to $2 trillion on those. This one is now up to 6 trillion. What are we at? 1 million per click. Let's do 2 million per click. Then we get to do it here on Jupiter as well. So we're now making 4 million per click. And in case we've forgotten, there's a lot of clicks. But even at 4.19 million per click, there has to be able to compare to our $8.5 million empire so far. Okay, we're up to $18 trillion. Let's buy some more hydrogen fusion reactor. These give us 100 billion each. So there's an extra 600 billion per second. Basically, 2/3 of a trillion. That's pretty much going to help us save up for the helium fusion energy. And of course, that didn't take very long at all, $50 trillion. And that's going to give us 4.5 trillion per second. So that over doubled our income just like that. Because we're back to $50 trillion already. There's 60 trillion, there's 70 trillion. So you get the idea that's going to get really, really big. But then again, the next upgrade is 1.75 quadrillion. So it's going to even out. But I just keep sitting here clicking, buying these as many times as I can. That keeps putting our income up and up and up. Like without clicking right now, we're making $50 trillion per second, something in that neighborhood, which obviously is a lot. So now we can go back towards Earth and upgrade our clicking again. Do we want to spend $200 trillion? Yeah, we might as well. It's clicking. You can never have too much of it. The next upgrade there is expensive, but we're up to 33 million per click, including this 66. And now our numbers are up to the quadrillion already. I didn't expect to get there that fast. We better spend some more on our clicking. So we're up to 134 million per click. And we need some more of this too. We need more trillions per second. That just added an extra lots. 13.5 trillion. Plus another 4.5, plus another 4.5. So now our number is probably closer to $100 trillion per second. Anyways, we're at 1.4 quadrillion, and that's going up pretty quick. So quick, in fact, that we can now buy solar radiation, 120 trillion per second. So that's made our money go even more bananas, and it's just going to keep going up and up and up. We already have enough just about for the next upgrade. Another 120 trillion. So at this point, I'm basically going to go stretch my legs for a couple minutes and come back. We'll see what kind of money we have and what we want to do with it. A short coffee break later, I'm up to $190 quadrillion, which is enough to buy thermal radiation. This produces 2.5 quadrillion per second. So we just added $7.5 quadrillion per second. 7.5 quadrillion energy per second, whatever. But that means in the 10 seconds since I bought that, we've already made the money back it took that entire break to earn. So we're going to buy a few more of those and maybe even some of these. So our clicks are up to 300 million, 600 million. And I really like these clicks. They're very important to me. Should I spend all of this money? Yeah, I should. We're up to 4.29 billion per click. And we'll even do the $200 quadrillion here. So we're up to $34 billion per click. And I definitely don't need to buy any of these anymore, though they make it pretty high. Let's actually buy a bunch of the factories. It takes a while to actually buy enough that we actually need. And it doesn't tell you how much they're giving you, but they're costing $24 quadrillion each. Upgrades for clicking are now going to cost into the quintillions, which is a really big number. So for now, we'll just continue being satisfied at 34 billion. And at this point, it's also debatable whether or not it's worth it to buy about 20 of these or one of these given the price. But I'm going to be lazy and just buy both. Actually, with the price increase, it's definitely worth it for the thermal radiation. So it's back to clicking and doing an occasional one of those. $3 quintillion later, we can buy another 5 thermal radiations, so that added $12.5 quadrillion per second. I don't know what I started calling energy dollars, but that's just a default I go to. I always think big numbers must mean dollars, so they're dollars now.
Come on, keep up.
And there's another 5 quadrillion per second, so I don't know how many we're making per second. Let's call it $50 quadrillion. And that does mean we can buy Saturn. Not by a whole lot, but we can buy it, and I know these upgrades are going to be worth it. Maybe not so much a Saturn clicker at start, but when we get 300 quadrillion, we're going to get gas-powered energy. Why does our Saturn have such a budget ring? I paid a lot of money for this. I want the full thing. Anyways, for now I'm going to get gas-powered energy. That's going to add 300 quadrillion per second. We're at that fun point now where it's hard to even understand the scale of how much we're buying and how much that's worth. But it adds up pretty quick. I think 300 quadrillion is roughly 1/20th of 6.6. It'd be 1/22nd. If that makes any sense at all. Then again, it doesn't have to make sense. I just need to keep buying.
Don't ask questions.
Then I'm also going to work backwards a little bit to increase that clicking furthermore. So we're up to 550 billion. And again, I don't know if that really necessarily adds anything. Even at 1.1 trillion, we need like a trillions to make any difference at all. It's just kind of fun to see me getting 2.2 trillion per click. And we're clicking quick. Then we should be able to buy probably another 4 of these, which is going to give us an extra 1.2 quintillion per second. I've upgraded my clicker again. We're up to 8.8 trillion per click. Still not enough to make a difference there, but one day it might be. We've almost got enough for helium mining. Look how much that gives me. I haven't been paying attention to any of these the rewards. And there we go, helium mining, 10 quintillion per second. So we're going from like 3 quintillion per second to 13 quintillion per second. Yeah, for the first time we broke $6 trillion energy, which means we could buy another 3 of those, which gave us an extra 30 quintillion. So I think we're up to something like 43 quintillion per second, and it sure looks like it. Make that 53. So at this point, 10 of these would equal 3 quintillion, but it would cost more than one of these. So you can see why I don't go back to these lesser upgrades. I always look for the next one. My ring isn't getting any bigger. I want my money back. So I'm going to sit here and pout for a while and save up the 10 sextillion we need. And it's time for Rhea Moon mining. That's going to give me 750 quintillion per second, so watch this number jump again. And it's skyrocketing, which means we can increase our income every 10-15 seconds so far, and that's going to be a big increase. I just sit here and wait patiently for a few seconds, and I can already buy another 3. Soon to be 4, because it pays for itself. So I think actually a quicker strategy for doing this would be for me to leave my auto clicker right here. The upgrade's going to buy themselves as soon as it's ready, and our income's going to go up, and you see the pattern repeats itself. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I just came back to look, and this next upgrade is actually no cheaper than this upgrade. And this one's going to get us considerably more bang for our buck. That's going to get us over 30 times better earnings, so we're going to click on one of those. So this by itself gives us 25 sextillion per second, and now we're up to 50 sextillion per second, so we're up to, I don't know what it is, almost 100 sextillion per second at this point. But the next upgrade is going to cost 30 septillion, so we're going to do the same thing. Auto clicker sits right here, and we'll wait. And now these upgrades are about a third of the next room for the pressure generator, but we're definitely going to buy the pressure generator because it's going to earn us 1.2 septillion dollars per second, which is nowhere near what we're doing now. It is kind of sad taking energy away from planets like this though, because there's no life on it anyway. Earth is the good one because think of all the people that are dying. Anyways, pressure generator, and we're up to I don't know how much money this is. Over a septillion dollars per second, and we're soon to be making more. While we're at it, let's upgrade our clicker some more. I don't know how much we've upgraded it because I don't really know where we started, but we're going to be making a lot of money per click. That much I'm pretty sure of. So 1 click equals 4.6 quintillion. So that might actually add up somewhat compared to that. So at 9.2 quintillion per click, we can do a lot of clicks. Plus we can also buy the pressure generator and other upgrades. So the income just goes up and up and up. I think this would be a good opportunity also to see how high we can get the clicker. We're going to find ones that are a little more agreeable in price, though that's debatable. 200 septillion is also debatable. So this is conceivably about as high as we would get the clicker anyway, and it's 37 quintillion. So it probably helps out a little bit, but not overly considering how much each of these upgrades is worth. And we need a lot of money for that next upgrade, so what we're going to do now is sit here and click on pressure generator until we have a stupid amount of money. It realistically won't even take that long. I just want to be making such a stupid amount of money by the time we get to the next area that it kind of makes it easier. I'm simply not going to be happy until I have all the energy in the universe and there's no life left at all. I want it all. I don't actually have any plans to use it, I just kind of want it. But I just realized our rate of income is so stupidly high now that we're well on our way to our next planet. Okay, well at least to buy it, we're not going to be able to afford any upgrades quite yet, but it's not actually going to take that long. Water extraction, this planet doesn't need water. That added over 50 septillion dollars per second, which is ludicrous compared to what we were making, which is already a ludicrous number. So let's get some more of that. We could probably upgrade our clicker some more, which is up to 73 quintillion dollars. Then we can work backwards to the planets doing the same thing, upgrading our clicker just a little. They're mostly into the octillions now, which seems like a lot. But 300 quintillion per click at this many clicks adds up quick. Oh, but we're into the octillions of dollars anyway. I can't believe we used to work on things like a steam engine. The technology is so far advanced from that now. So now that we've got our clicking all the way up to 5 sextillion per click, we're going to do water extraction. And then we should probably upgrade the Uranus clicker. We're making 1 octillion every few seconds, so that's going to add up pretty quick. And we only need 4.5 octillion to get our next upgrade anyway, so I should save up for that. The ammonium generator. 350 septillion dollars per second, so about a third of an octillion. And we very quickly saved up enough for methane mining. We have 120 octillion dollars energy, so this is going to give us 8 octillion per second as it is. Right now it would take us 8 seconds roughly to make this. Now we're doing it every second, so we just made 8 times as much money. And we basically already have enough for the next upgrade, so now we just doubled our income. And you can see how this is just very satisfying. Those numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we should work on our clicks now too that we're making this income. So we're making 5 sextillion per click. Now we're making 10 sextillion. So we'll go through the rest of the planets as best we can. This used to be a ridiculously big number. Now it seems like a small one. That one we're going to wait on because I don't have that much time. Well, then again, actually, this number is going up pretty stupidly fast. So we're now up to 300 sextillion per click. This one will be an easy one. No nillion we're not going to get to, but $1.2 septillion per click. We would literally absorb the Earth in one click. I don't mean to sound stupid, but I'm going to. I didn't realize there was planets in the other direction. I kept wondering why we were buying planets as it got further away from the sun. The sun would make more sense because it probably has the most energy. So let's buy all of Venus all at once. So thermal energy, atmosphere generator, oxygen creator. Why would we want that? These are all normally super expensive upgrades, but when you're this rich, it doesn't matter. So we're going to upgrade the Venus. This would have made the clicker so much better all this time because all of these are upgrading my clicks in a huge fashion. We'll buy into the octillions for now, I guess, even one of those. So our clicks are now worth $6.3 octillion. Then we'll also buy Mercury, 10 quadrillion. So it's not cheap, but we'll buy all of these. Including, I'm just going to auto-click the clicker upgrade. And then we're up to $20 decillion. What? Okay, this just got stupidly easy suddenly because I can just look at our money now. We're into undecillion already. The sun obviously costs 69 sextillion dollars. So we're going to go ahead and buy that and buy everything here. Nothing here is helpful enough. We need to go back the other way. So we'll buy all the clickers we can. Now we're up to 340 undecillion per click, which means the clicking makes more than our income by a stupid amount. So this kind of actually breaks the game because this amount is more than enough to buy the rest of everything, I'm pretty sure. Kind of wish I found that earlier. So here's the final planet, which is Neptune, $250 million, but we can afford everything here, no problem. So let's put all of our money into this because this will be the best upgrade there is to see if it even can move this number anymore. So nope, even maxed out, it won't move this number one little bit. It's all about the clicking at this point. So, trade decillion. Yeah, we're making a lot of money there. We're going to do this on all the clickers to see how high it actually goes. So, Earth clicker turned into infinity million energy. So, when I click on that, I don't... What is that? Septendecillion. Septendecillion dollars. We're now into the octodecillions. And I can do the same with all the clickers. It just turns into an infinity millions after a while because it doesn't want to make any numbers that big. Partly because it gets a little bit hard to even find the numbers that are that big. So after literally maxing out the clicker, it's just +1. It's circle, it's +1. Can we max out other things? So can we max out solar panels? It doesn't seem so. I think I just broke the game. I think this is maxed. Things are just not going anymore because it doesn't matter. We made so much energy, we destroyed the entire galaxy. I mean, it only costs $1 decillion to prestige. We have like, I can't even describe to you how many of these we have. Trillions of trillions of trillions of trillions. But if we were to play through this now, we'd have twice as much income, which is kind of bananas to think about it. But we're already so far ahead, it's all just kind of meaningless at this point. We basically broke everything. Nothing's relevant. Today, we're going to catch the biggest and rarest of fish. I don't care how many upgrades it takes. And luckily, I'm in a very touchy mood. I've had a lot of coffee. And I got a reward for catching 25 entire fish. And not sure what this garbage is floating past, but we're going to go ahead and take that. That's probably important. So right now, every fish I touch gets in the boat for $1 whole. Now that means obviously I would have to catch a lot of these little fish to get anywhere at all. Luckily for me, we can start to upgrade things. 100% increased fish value. Let's just do that for now and back to fishing while touching the box. There's a whole pile of fish. Look at all that money and a big one. Oh, I don't know what this is. Okay, I want to get in the boat. Get in the boat. We're not strong enough to get that fish. We will be one day though. Sorry, we will be today. But for now, I'm getting $5 per little boring fish. I'm actually doing the ocean a favor by removing all the boring fish. Every fish I remove, the ocean gets a little bit more exciting. Okay, let's 25% surface fish per second. So we're gonna get more showing up for more money. Now look at them all surfacing. Okay, hold on, look at that big pile. Oh, here's one. Oh, big green fish. I'll take that. And then I just want all that money. We have $2,500. We've maxed out the breadcrumbs. Let's max out our rod then. We can get 1,000 times value for fish. We're getting $11 per fish. There's another big one. I only had to touch it once to put it in the boat. I need to go towards deeper water now, but I keep getting distracted because big fish keep showing up and this is actually really addictive. Anyways, I'm going to focus. It's $1,000 to go to deeper water, where the fish are slightly bigger, $55 each, plus this big guy is still worth only $11. Okay, he's now the boring fish. but I still can't help but touch him when he shows up. Okay, so the little fish are still worth 11. These bigger fish are worth 55. And the box had a free pile of cash, $500. Not that that feels like a lot anymore, but I guess it's something. And my reward for hitting deeper water is 3 emeralds, which I assume I spend on other upgrades entirely. I'll take the box. Where's all the rare fish? Oh, look at that pool down there. We're going to touch all of those. That feels good. And I just found like a floating 3 to 4 basic items. I guess I have the emeralds. I might as well. This looks like fun. There's a fishing rod and a slingshot and electrical wire. Okay, so bird catcher. It's time to, oh, we can grab the fish from the birds. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what it means, but we're going to do that. And then we're going back to fishing because that's all very confusing. I'm not here to think. I'm here to touch the fish and pull them out of the water and make myself rich. So thanks to my slingshot, I can now catch the birds. And I'm using catch very loosely here because we're going to slingshot them and they're going to fall into the ocean and probably be eaten by fish. That's something I can live with. For $5,000, we can get a tier 2 fishing boat. Okay, so then 50% faster idle fishing on the boat. Are we catching stuff without me doing anything? We very well might be. Oh, there's a bird. $1,600 for a seagull? I need more seagulls to show up. That's a lot of money. And it does look like he's catching things idly. You know, every once in a while he's reeling in a $110 fish. But I'm here to try hard this calming fishing game. And every time I catch a new fish, I get a little bit of experience. So I caught a seagull, I've caught a green pike, and I've caught a green fish. How very creative. Anyways, our next upgrade is going to be better hooks plus 1 times max fishing size for idle fishing. So I guess he can reel in. Oh, look at all the seagulls. Give me those. Anyways, I think now his idle fishing is going to catch a lot bigger fish. Okay, I wasn't really paying attention, but we did just make $46,000. What is this? I don't know what I just did. Okay, we just spent a bunch of money, but I have $7,800. I think that's a quick upgrade button. So I don't really know. We just spent a lot of money on upgrades that are unknown at this point. And naturally, like any good fisherman, I have a wheel I can spin to hopefully get whatever, which is going to be 3 times emeralds, I guess. And I know we spent that on something eventually. We also got one of these. There's $600. Plus I'm getting lots of emeralds because I happen to be completing all of the quests. I need to catch 200 fish. That doesn't seem that hard, considering there's just a lot of fish here and I can just swing around catching them all. We probably already caught 20. The next increase though is going to cost $200,000, so I've got a little bit of saving to do. I have 60,000 now. I keep accidentally pressing the upgrade button because it starts to glow and I wonder what it is, so we just spent half our money on an upgrade that I don't know what it was. Luckily we do make a lot of money. Even these basic fish are worth $66 and there's a lot of them. Some of the bigger ones are worth $600, $300, a lot of money. Every once in a while that huge school of little fish comes by and gives me up $50,000, so we're up to $150 all of a sudden.
Okay, you keep the change, okay?
We're coming up on the $200,000 mark, which means we're going to get a bigger boat, which hopefully means a lot more everything. We're going to take our $6,000 from that. Okay, tier 3 boat, what do we got? We have increased catch chance, increased fish value, so we're going to buy a few of these for now. That's going to help us make a little more money on everything. We can already see the difference, $540 for the medium-sized fish. And I assume for now I can just hit the quick upgrade button because it's going to buy those upgrades. They get very expensive quickly. That one already costs $160,000. But for only $30,000, we can get 50% increased fish value, which is a great investment because we catch a lot of fish, including these giant schools of fish. That gave me $260,000. Okay, the boss fish is back. Don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with him. We just don't have the experience. So I'll just go ahead and harass you for a minute and let you be on your way, sir. Okay, 50% increased fish value. That's an easy choice.
You had me at hello.
So I'm just going to click on that basically until I can't. Now, a tiny fish is worth $126. A medium fish is $630. Big jumbo there is worth, I don't see what that was. Seagulls are worth $10,000. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the next fishing spot is the Silver Pond for $500,000. We've got a little bit of saving to do. Okay, we saved up about $200,000. I wanted to check on the next boat. It's $20 million. I'm also going to equip my other items now that I can finally afford them. This is 20% increased experience, and this one's going to be 50% faster idle fishing, which is good because that's just easy background money. And here's a big school of fish that's going to make me tons. And there's also perks we could be unlocking. So this one looks like coffee. I'll take that one. 20% income while away. Okay. This one would have been better. 100% increased fish value. Can I still have that? Can I trade? I picked the one that's absolutely of no use to me, of course. Oh, I can reset them for only 50 emeralds. I have 4 currently, so that's probably not going to happen. All right, we're coming up on the $500,000 mark. So we're going deeper. Apparently I've made some friends along the way. I can apparently buy them for emeralds. They can help me out a little bit. I don't need their help. How much are fish worth here? 3,000, 3,600, 126. These bigger fish are $3,000 already. Now, apparently, I need to collect my experience, which is probably okay because the next deeper water is $200 million. Okay, so we're basically prestiging already. We go back to the first level, but we get 113 better cash and epic fish catch rate, whatever. So now these little fish are $24 to start, and we're obviously going to be able to buy the upgrades very quickly. I halfway accidentally made a new purchase, which is going to get us things like the bow and arrow, so we get those awesome stats, and double lines probably isn't going to hurt to have. And we've got a few more perk points to spend, so 25% increased value from boat catches. Okay, we're going to go for that. And also 100% increased fish value. Maybe a few levels of that if we can afford it. So now big boys worth 72, little fish are worth everything's worth 72, sickles are worth 1,000. Okay, obviously now we can increase the value of fish a lot because those upgrades are very cheap, and we've saved up $10,000, $5,000 for the next tier boat. So yeah, we're just going to quick buy those upgrades to get back to where we were. We're already at $600 per little fish though. Okay, let's go right back to deeper water because it's only $1,000, so we'll just get a lot more value out of fish here. So the bigger size fish here are worth $3,000 each, so we'll be moving on to deeper water very quickly. I basically instantly got the $200,000 I needed to, oh, we got this guy again. I still think we're a long ways from getting him. We took off like 5% of his health. He's going to be worth a lot, but he's going to take a few minutes. While doing that, though, I made an extra $200,000 apparently, so that's okay. So let's get the better boat, and we're going to move on to deeper water very soon because it only costs $500,000, so we'll make that in no time. So these fish are now worth about $5,000 each, deeper water time. If I was seeing that right, those are worth $20,000 each now for the bigger ones. That was like a shark or something. Yeah, so the biggest like basic fish we can catch here is $20,000 each, and that's before we upgrade all of these things. So I'm just going to keep going like that, and we get all those upgrades and more. So that's now worth $28,000. So this is very satisfying. We made over $1 million for the first time, and I think we get a reward now for doing 40 boat upgrades. So let's just touch that, and that'll get us there, which gives us just emeralds, which is kind of boring. But look at all the money we make. Our value has gone up again, so we're now catching up to $30,000 per fish. So we can increase their value again for 732, then 1 million, then 1.3, then 1.7. Now what are they worth? 34,000, which seems like an unreasonable amount of money for just a few fish in the ocean. And there's $20 million, so let's see what kind of new upgrades we're going to get from a better boat. 10% chance for a better fish. That's actually a really good one, so we're going to buy a few levels of that, and then hopefully we'll only have good fish spawning. So that's a level 5, so we should get just lots of bigger fish for lots of value. I think I'm seeing, yeah, look what we're catching. Those are worth $500,000 each. We're getting so many big fish now. Like, I've already made $15 million. It took me a long time to make that initially, and we can still buy more upgrades. I just want more of this. This is way better. And there's a massive school of fish, so let's see if we can eat all that up, and there's another $8 million already. So let's increase the fish value some more. You know what? I'm just going to start hitting the auto buy because we're making so much money. It'd be stupid not to do that because I don't have time to think. Buy. Lots of money spent, but we're going to earn ever more for every upgrade we get. At this point, our passive income is so strong, I hardly need to be touching anything. Like, look, that's millions of dollars jumping into the boat, just like it is in real life. I also found this for 300% critical fish value. I'm not really sure what that means, but I assume that means every once in a while we're gonna get more valuable fish, and so far that seems to be working because some fish are worth almost $1 million now. I did see one for $1 million. Oh, we got you again. We're still not going to catch you yet. Coming up to $200 million made by sitting in a little boat. That's definitely going to put me over the top because there's $250 million. So we're going to deeper water. This better be worth it because that was pretty expensive. Okay, the water is red here, but we have $5 million fish jumping into the boat just kind of for funsies, it appears. So I'm not going to complain with that. $564,000 million fish. Yeah, I look at that money. I've made $200 million basically in 10 seconds since I've been here. So we're going to be able to retire sooner than later. $400 million to the next boat, which actually we basically, yeah, we can afford it suddenly because we're just making a stupid amount of money. New boat. Now we get plus 2% surface fish per second and 250% increased fish value. The next upgrade is $10 billion though, so it's going to be a minute. But then again, we are making a lot of money, so let's increase our fish value right here. That went from 850% to 1250. That's max level now, so that's going to help our income just a little bit. Seagulls are worth $8 million each now, and we did just make another $330 million, so let's maybe keep going with those upgrades. Let's take 250% increased fish value, so that added an extra 500% fish value. So they're constantly jumping in the boat for $7 to $10 million. Even the smaller fish that I can find are worth 135,000. So all I gotta do is just catch everything and we made $1 billion. That's not really good enough for me. We're gonna get better bait so we get more fish and then more fish value. Or we'll just finish off this one because it's gonna annoy me forever. Seagulls are worth 11 million now. And catching all these big, expensive, valuable fish is getting me lots of experience. So if and when I do prestige again, we'll make even more money than ever before, even though we're already a billionaire by being a single guy sitting in a small boat. I have painstakingly saved up another $2 billion, which I'm going to spend on fish sorting. So that's going to give me an extra 250% fish value. So now they're going in the boat for ever more money. I don't even know what they're at now. It's a lot. I've spent some of my gems to unlock another crewmate. So now we're going to have better fish, increased fish value, and surface fish per second. So that's certainly not going to hurt. And let's take one more of those because those are actually pretty good. There we go, more fish value, better fish. Is this how fishing works in real life? You have tens of millions of dollars jumping into your boat every second. We made $2 billion again just sitting here waiting. This is great. Okay, so even with all these upgrades, I think it might be time to prestige again because we need billions of dollars and we're making billions, but not quick enough. But if we restart now, we'll collect 71 fishing experience, so we'll get a massive bonus. 62% better. Now, every individual fish is $340 and that's going to go up very quickly. We can't do anything about them, but there's $15,000 in seagulls. Of course there is. Okay, so now we're making this much per fish because I'm just clicking on this and it takes us to the levels quickly. Okay, we've already made $100,000, so we need to go to deeper water where the better fish go because that's only $1,000. Was the next one 500,000? That shouldn't take long. I don't even know if I need to... Okay, we got another big boy coming in. Yeah, we can't catch those yet, but we're going to go ahead and take $200,000 to upgrade the boat, and then we need to hit this a lot. We already have $500,000 we need for here, where we're going to get fish for $50,000 already. Okay, we're already into the millions, so millions of dollars of fish I will take, because upgrades are getting expensive anyway, so just give me all of those, and then we're going to take some fish, and now they're going to be worth extra millions of dollars, which means we get $1 million out of a box, and we've got about $20 million to spend on whatever that is. Now we'll get even more money. Okay, there's a $20 million I need for a bigger boat, so now we get the extra value and stuff after I get that herd of fish, school of fish. And we've already made $25 million back thanks to the new boat upgrades. I really want that big fish out of the bottom though. I don't know what it's going to take to catch him, but I want to see how much he's worth.
Yeah, I hate this. I never seen it.
Couple more upgrades, just a few. That should be more money. So now they're jumping into the boat for a few million already. Speaking of the big stupid fish, he's back, but we can still do very little to him. But we're doing more than we did before, actually. We can take him down to like 85% health. Okay, I've got the $200 million I need to, I think, move to the next area. So we're back to the red water already. Now we're going to catch the valuable fish again for... Well, I think I saw one for $13 million, which probably means we can buy some more of these, but for $400 million, I need those upgrades. So let's just scoop up $50 million worth of fish. That was easy. Here's my $400 million boat. Now I get huge extra value out of fish. We just had a big school swim by, so we made $1 billion basically instantly. So we're just going to start buying those. Now the fish are more valuable again and more valuable again. Now those billions are adding up quite a bit faster and we still got some upgrades to do. Not on those guys, though they are pretty helpful. The big upgrade I want is $2 billion and that's that one, 250% increased fish value. Because even now I'm catching some into the tens of millions of dollars fairly routinely, so that's obviously going to add up quickly. There's another $500 million. It's a very big moment. We're about to spend $10 billion on a boat. So that's going to get me 10% faster idle fishing, 50% increased value per level of this, and then plus 10 more fish in schools, which is actually huge because those schools are mega valuable. Okay, so we saved up a few $1 billion, so let's buy a few levels of that, and we're out of upgrades we can afford already, but the value speaks for itself. Seagulls are worth $30 million now. I don't really remember what they were before, but I know it wasn't $30 million. There's another $2 billion. Plus 2% surface fish. You know that's a good one because the next one costs $8 billion. I think that basically means an extra 2% passive income, which is pretty high right now. Pretty quickly saved up another $7 billion, so we're going to get 250% increased fish value and then bigger schools. Now a lot of these regular fish are worth 30 million, 20 million. It's not uncommon at all. Finally, after another nice school of fish, we've saved up $30 billion plus an extra 205 and 205 million. That means we can go deeper, $30 billion deep. which means we get new experience and new fish and a bunch of new stuff. Ooh, look at that school of fish. I need to take that right away because there's an extra $8 billion. I'm seeing fish value here of up to 75 million, and I can't even imagine what the seagulls are worth. A box here is worth 1 billion. So this seems like a good spot. We're catching lots of value in fish. In fact, we very quickly already made a 26 billion back plus that. So let's buy some more of these upgrades. Like fish sorting, there's a 250% increase. There's a 500% increase. I definitely just saw a fish caught for, I think, 116 million. So all it would take is 10 of those to get $1 billion, which we have several of. So while we're at it, I might as well start getting some of these upgrades because I can buy one of those. The seagull is worth $200 million. And there we go. There's another plus 10 fish in schools, which, trust me, those schools add up to a lot of value. I couldn't help myself. It offered me a rare box, so I want to see what that is. I assume it's going to be lots of different colored items. I think the color corresponds with their rarity, so the darker the color, the better. I didn't mean to do all of this, though. That's a lot of points to spend. But things like this probably do a lot of good stuff. Goldfish multiplier, ab value, we don't have any of that stuff yet. But something in the upgrades we just did also helped us. I don't even know what we did, but we've suddenly got $127 billion and we're catching billion-dollar fish. There's a $2 billion fish. So we might want to go ahead and buy some more of these upgrades, like extra fish value in a big way. Then better bait, and then this one, and then that one. The bigger boat is still $200 billion, which actually won't take that long anymore. Here's a school of fish. It's going to be worth tons of money. Yeah, that put us over 200 billion by itself. Seagulls are worth $5 billion now, but let's get a bigger boat. Okay, here we have some cool options again, like 100% income from all sources and 20% chance of better fish. Last time we did one of those, it was an exponential jump up in fish value. All it costs is $100 billion, which is worth it. And then we'll maybe take some more of the other ones too. We're just going to click the upgrades again because there's a school of fish, which is strange to find so soon to another one. There's about $200 billion from a school of fish. So 100% income from all sources times 2 and bigger schools of fish because the schools are really paying out. I guess while we're at it, I might as well buy some of these things. But now I'm just going to spend a bunch of money upgrading fish value. And I don't really care about the rest of the points, to be honest. I just want to not have to think about what to spend these on. That one's maxed. Big fish showed up. I still don't think we've got anything equipped to do extra damage to him. Nope, he's perfectly fine. Anyways, after spending our upgrade points, we're now making hundreds of millions of dollars per fish at the minimum and up to $12 billion per fish, which put us up to $1.7 trillion in value. So let's get 20% chance of better fish and whatever these ones are until we run out of upgrades. Oh, there's a school of fish. I missed half of it, but we did just make $1.5 trillion from it, so I'm not going to complain. And even better yet, now that we have $2 trillion, we're going to deeper water, the big sea. I imagine the fish here are going to be of absolutely ridiculous value because they can't be anything less. I think I just saw something for 105 billion by itself. Oh, here's a school of fish. So, wow, that's a pretty good one. That's about $50 trillion. And I didn't even get the whole school. $50 trillion. I don't even want the big shark anymore. Get out of here. You're useless. You're dead to me. We actually got halfway to the next level already, which is murky waters for 100 trillion. So we might just save up for that because it's not going to take that long to get there. Okay, there's another school of fish that was very hard to see along the edge. So we're going to do our best to take all of them. That'll put us over the 100 trillion we need to go to the next area. Okay, we're just straight up going to murky waters, whatever this place is. We've got $15 trillion to our name. We're catching things for billions of dollars. 175 billion. There was 500 billion, so 2 of those makes $1 trillion. And we haven't even caught a school of fish here, but look at all this value. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Oh, there is a school. Yeah, there's lots of schools showing up. Probably some of my stupid bonuses that I bought. But there we go. $200 trillion to spend on a better boat. I don't really know what. There's a lot of extra money per second. I want a better chance of better fish. We can afford a lot of those upgrades because we're rich, and then we'll do this one, and then we'll do some of that one. Now it should be largely high value fish, and I think, yeah, I saw one for $4 trillion by itself, a $4 trillion fish. Maybe I ended up going a bit far with some of those upgrades too early. It felt like it was just progress was getting a little slow, but now it feels almost too fast. Okay, the next boat is $900 trillion. We've saved up a ninth of that so far, so I think what we're going to do is prestige right now because we're going to get 364 fishing experience for a 2300% bonus. I hope I don't regret that. 198% better, so we're going to be making 198% more money than we just were. That was $100,000 for a little fish. Oh, and we might have caught one of you. I guess we just have the power of that. We have $50 million. So, okay, we caught whatever that was. There's another 187,000. I don't know what to do with upgrades. We're just going to buy everything, I guess. Okay, better yet, we're going to deeper waters first. We're going to go way into deeper waters until we can't anymore. We've got $350 million. Wait, can I get this one? Can I? Oh, I don't think I'm going to be quick enough, but it's close. Nope, it's not that close. Okay, good day, sir. On your way. Okay, but we just saved up $2.5 billion, and I'm not even catching fish right now. $30 billion for the next one? Well, all we need is a few upgrades for that, and I can afford those. We're making money faster than I can spend it. We're up to 30 billion suddenly. Can I get him? Nope, not enough damage yet. Just gonna keep clicking. Oh, we're finally starting to use up our money again. Okay, we've got, 15 billion, 25, 30 billion dollars again. So we could probably go to deeper water. And that means we can also afford some upgrades again, which means we can make more money per fish. We're getting up to 50 billion per fish currently. That's going to go up quickly. It's a considerable $2 trillion for the next level. Not going to catch him, but we've made the 2 trillion we need. So we're just going to leave him right there. We don't want him anymore. And now we're back to this spot. The sequels are worth $324 billion currently. And that's a number that's going to go up quickly. And I think I'm back to my nice large boat. It seems pretty luxurious. The next boat's going to be $900 trillion. So we're roughly where we just left off, but it took us like 10 seconds to get here this time. So it's not hard to save up some money, and we still got lots of upgrades we can buy, so we're still in good shape. And I'm officially a 100 trillionaire, which means we can go to deeper water again. So I suspect this is where the value is going to start to shine again a little more. I caught a $1 trillion fish there for sure. There's probably somewhere several trillion. And if there's not yet, there will be soon. Okay, here's a few upgrades. A seagull's worth $1 trillion. There's a few more upgrades, so that's just going to mean more value. Didn't mean to open that. It's going to be 5 quadrillion to go there. Okay, here's a school of fish, and that put us well into the quadrillions of dollars because schools of fish are ridiculously good. $2 quadrillion, which is enough to buy a tier 9 boat, which means we're going to get 1,000% increased fish value. Yes, please, give me a few of those. So now the fish are constantly jumping in for several $trillion each, so that's pretty good for my income level. So I'm just going to go back to auto buying upgrades, which is going to help everything. Okay, I saw a $29 trillion fish. So money's going to be a little bit easier again for a couple minutes. There's a school of fish that kind of started getting away because I wasn't paying enough attention, but we still got $2.5 quadrillion out of that. And there's a really big fish. He'd probably be worth like a quadrillion, trillion, zillion dollars, but I'm not going to be able to catch him. I'm going to spend a few dollars, a few gems, unlocking some more random crew because I think they simply get added to everything going on, so why wouldn't I? I mean, I've kind of got the emeralds for it. I really didn't mean to buy that many, but it's helping me now. We needed the help. And look how many idiots I have on my little boat now. There's like 16 of them on here. I did manage to spend all of my emeralds. I'm not sure what I spent them on, but I assume we're going to get more value. Here's a nice school of fish. We're definitely going to eat all of them up in a hurry, because that put us up to $7 quadrillion. So let's go to the new fishing area. And do we have enough to buy the new boat still? $20 quadrillion for the new boat? That sounds worse than it is. The fish here are pretty valuable. I just saw one for 12 trillion. There's one for $26 trillion. That adds up pretty quickly. Plus, I can still get 1,000% increased fish value times quite a lot because we're rich. Look at the money going up now. Oh, that was a school of fish. That's why. There's a big fish, but, we're touching the $100 trillion per fish mark, so quadrillions are going by rather quickly. And we can still buy more fish value, which is stupid, because the fish are already pretty valuable. Then I'm just going to auto-buy for a bit, because those are going to help anyway, I'm pretty sure. The amount of money we're making off very simple fish right now is pretty ridiculous. There's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars going into my boat every second. And here's a school of fish I'm going to work very hard to consume, because that's just going to be so much money that it's a joke. That put me over 20 quadrillion, which means I get a bigger boat. A $20 quadrillion boat. Seagulls are worth trillions. I kind of missed the number. But we're on like a nice yacht now. So we get 100% income and 10% chance for better fish. Well, I think now that I've made myself a quadrillionaire, we're going to leave it here and let it run in the background. I'm also going to get this school of fish, but we did pretty good considering we're a simple fisherman. Today we're going to make it rain people because every time I click, they pop from the ground. So the faster we click, the more people we get. It's like watching popcorn kernels go off. As amusing as this is, it's not actually earning us anything at all. We need to spend 30 people on one house. And it is a pretty nice house. So now when I click, I get one human sacrifice. And the more humans we sacrifice, the more prettier things we can afford. And it's only a matter of time before we buy another house or two, and they're to sprinkle themselves throughout the land. I like how I don't have to do any planning for once. My popcorn people are now worth 4 sacrifices per click, which means we can afford a tavern for 125, and that's going to give me 10 per second in the background. That's the power of community drinking. Passive income. So we're going to go ahead and buy a few more of those, that way I don't have to keep clicking. And something fun has happened. An old ruin has been found somewhere around the city. The idiots aren't sure whether they should rebuild it or just let it be. Oh, we're going to rebuild it. It's some kind of ghost castle. So it gives negative 1% total, so we just lost 1% earnings because we built a ghost castle. I still don't regret that. Every chance we get, we're going to build whatever the game offers us. We're about to spend $1,700 on more houses, so it's going to be a pretty good looking empire. But I also get $26 per click, so the ghosts can't stop me now. The art in this is absolutely beautiful. Almost as beautiful as our human sacrifices, but we can already afford a watchtower for 3,000. It's watching the ghosts absolutely destroy our empire. But now I'm up to $66 per click, so we're gonna keep on doing just that. I like how the houses shake. I like to think we're ripping the residents out to sacrifice them. We rip their souls out and toss their carcass back on the ground for the birds to eat. Massive seed. A massive seed appeared in your city overnight. The citizens aren't sure whether they should investigate or just let it grow. Let it grow. A giant beanstalk? Purely cosmetic. Okay. Well, I won't say no to that. Appearances, after all, are the most important things in the world. Let's get some more passive income going. We need some more taverns. $100 per second. So then we'll spend the next remaining money on 2 more watchtowers. So that's going to give us $145 per click. And it looks like we've still got some upgrades to go. This one seems to earn $1,400 billion per second. That's got to be quite an empire. I can't imagine how many poor decisions we're going to make between now and then. I think my biggest problem with the ghost tower is it kind of blocks the view of everything behind it. I was so caught up in the clicking, I didn't even notice we get our first herbalist hut. Costs $20,000, earns 1,000 per second. Look at that money go up. But I want to watch more people get flung into the air like popcorn. So we're just going to keep our clicker numbers up too. There can be no mercy for the residents of this world. A shelter for flowers. A merchant comes to your city and asks for a place to set a place for flowers. We definitely need more flowers. Yes. Yes to everything. What do? Gives plus 1% total. So the flower man counteracts the ghost. So now the ghost really is just purely annoying to look at. We also need more herbalist huts. We're going to spend well over $100,000 on that, but we're earning $5,100 every second just to turn people into popcorn. It really is just the perfect game. At least for me, because I don't have to think. I just click and watch stuff happen. I also haven't been paying attention if they level up at certain levels. It doesn't appear that they do, but it does add more houses actually. Can we just go ahead and add... Oh, the game does not like that. But look at all of our beautiful houses. The houses are giving us, I don't know, 95 per second, I suppose. Now I'm kind of worried I'm going to break the game before we get to the end. The dragon's dead. A ferocious dragon has nested near a vital trade route. Do we slay the dragon or seek the help of a dragon tamer? Yeah, let's have the dragon be on our team. Okay, the dragon sanctuary gives plus 1 per second. And it's funny because this actually looks better than anything I've ever built when it comes to town or world builders. I just wanted to get houses to level 100. I hope something fun might happen at that point. To be fair, we did get a dragon. So let's buy more herbalist huts to celebrate. And this is probably going to sound stupid, but I didn't realize there's levels. I'm currently level 4 and I only get leveling up by clicking. Which makes me think that if we buy more levels of this, oh, we actually level up from that. And that might also help clicking give more experience. I'm not here to think, I'm here to click on things. Look how many buildings and stuff shake now when I click. That's kind of fun. I've created a jello world. Also, we're going to have an archery range that's going to give us plus 3,000 per click. So is that going to help me level up? No, clicking still gives the same amount of experience, but clicking now gives us almost 4,000 sacrifices. So naturally, we're going to buy more of those. 7,000 per click. And we're about to hit level 5, so that's what happens here. Every time we level up, that's when we get an event. The miners have come across a split deep down in a cavern. Should they take the left tunnel or the right tunnel? Right. And they were never seen again. Gives minus 1% total. Well, I guess they should have gone the other way. No matter what choice they make, it all leads to a human sacrifice for them anyway, so they probably didn't really care that much. What we're gonna do now is add more archery ranges. We don't have room for air in this civilization. If it's not filled with houses, not good enough. I want the very molecules and atoms to feel like they don't have any room to breathe. We're actually at almost 20,000 per click now. And to celebrate, we're gonna buy more houses just because it's fun to watch them all sprinkle in. And then we make the jello world. We're already a 2 millionaire. I should look at the numbers more. The game is good when it can distract you from even how much money you make. We need more archery ranges to celebrate. $30,000 per click. And we can click pretty fast. Tavern of Ghosts. Ghosts have been sighted in the city's taverns. You could welcome them or ask your most trusted wizards to get rid of the ghosts. No, we want the ghosts. Welcome them. We want a civilization of ghosts, even though the last ones didn't help. I seem to have a problem. I'm not really sure what the ghosts do now. We added them in, but they're behind the other ghost decision I made, so we can't tell if it's good or bad. Oh, I see now. The symbol above is a plus or a minus, which indicates good or bad. I still can't see the one behind it, but we can add a butchery. I like how it doesn't clarify what we're butchering. It's just a butchery. That also added $100,000 per second, so we just basically got 10 times our earnings. And that's the kind of earnings I can get behind. I want to know what's at the top of the beanstalk as well. Maybe if we build high enough up, we can start building skyscrapers. Our money's getting stupid already. We made $9 million and we were back to zero. So let's buy 2 butcheries, soon to be 3 butcheries. Butchery. I'm pretty sure that's not a real thing. I think it's called a butcher shop in real life, but you probably shouldn't take my word for anything. I'm sitting here clicking on an imaginary Jello village. I wish houses weren't so expensive, $150,000 each, but I do like to make it rain. The bakery costs $35 million, so that's still going to be at least a few seconds. So we're waiting for that, more butcheries. Maybe the butchery is where we send the people once we pluck them out of their homes. I assume they don't take the fall very well if we launch them 30 meters into the air. So from there they go to the butchery. We turn them into food for the remaining people that haven't yet been tossed into the air. The goblin settlement. Scouts have found a large goblin settlement nearby. You could train warriors to wipe it out or establish contact. Now let's train warriors. Let's destroy the goblins. Did that work? Okay, we got a paladin barracks out of that. Apparently we get plus 3% per click. Eventually that's going to add up, because as we buy a bakery for $35 million, that gives us plus 300,000 per click. And we get an extra 3% out of that, so that alone is giving us 9,000 per click. Then again, that number seems kind of insignificant. When your numbers are doing this, you're having a good day. The numbers have turned into Jello themselves. That also means I don't have to click, but I want to click, so we keep leveling up and getting stupid new buildings. Also, more butcheries. That way we can earn $1.2 million per second. Next is a blacksmith. It's going to cost $400 million. So that's going to take a second to get to. While we're waiting, we're going to buy another bakery and soon to be another bakery. It's going to cost $42 million and there it is. So our earnings right now are probably about $5 million per second, which sounds pretty good, but that gets me really excited about how far we can take it. And while we're waiting, when I get bored of clicking the Jello Town, I'm just gonna upgrade things once in a while. A mischievous group of goblins has occupied an ancient ruin, hindering important archaeological research. You can send an expedition party to clear out the goblins. Yeah, clear them out. We don't negotiate with terrorists. It's true, every time we fight the goblins, we get a good bonus. Now we get an extra 2% earnings per second, at least passively. My clicking is up to 1.6 million, so if you buy a few more of these, it's up to 2.5 million per click. 4 clicks, $10 million. All because I built the world's best town. My earnings are so good, I actually went way over the 400 million we needed for a blacksmith, but that's going to add $12 million per second, so it's actually 10 times our earnings. So that's going to make us a billionaire before we know it, because now we're making more like $40 million a second, and if we buy another blacksmith, that's only going to go up from there. Each one does cost $500 million though, otherwise known as 500 million, so that's going to take a few seconds no matter what we do. A group of rogue wizards is using dark magic to terrorize the countryside, causing havoc and destruction. You could seek help from dark wizards in a city. Yeah, we're gonna fight fire with fire. Wizards, get at them. So that ended up adding 2% per click and minus 4% per second, so clicking power went up. The fate of the wizards and the countryside, by the way, is irrelevant apparently. They all got slaughtered, but we make more money. We're also officially billionaires, in fact 2 billionaires, so I'm gonna spend $2 billion on houses just to watch it rain. You can't tell me that wasn't fun though. We have 231 houses squeezed into like a quarter-acre lot. That also basically added absolutely nothing to our earnings. But we're already pretty rich, so what do we care about money? We're gonna buy 1 blacksmith and soon to be 1 more blacksmith. Simply because that's gonna put us up to almost $50 million per second. So we're earning money just like we do in real life, obviously. Do you think this dragon's ever gonna get up and move? I know it's like a sanctuary where he's supposed to be safe, but I think if we juggle him enough times, he might feel better. Or just get so annoyed he leaves finally. He's pretty vulnerable. We probably should have just murdered him when we had the chance. He probably had lots of treasure on him. $3 billion, so we're gonna spend more money on blacksmiths. That put us up to $93 million per second. Wait, one more time. $104 million every second. Mysterious mushroom. A large mysterious mushroom has started growing in the middle of your city. You could leave it or pluck it. Well, we're gonna leave it. I want to see this mushroom grow. That gives an extra 0.5% per click. While we were reading the mushroom story, we were able to build a church. Costs $3.5 million, but it's gonna earn us $25 million per click. We're currently making $2.5 million, so that's 10 times. 10 times earning per click. So that's $30 million per click. Because of all of our bonuses, we're gonna buy another church. $56 million per click. So it takes less than 20 clicks to make $1 billion. So we better keep going on the churches. Also blacksmiths, we just need more money. $150 million per second over here. I don't know, we're making hundreds of millions of dollars per second. Yeah, if I'm clicking pretty quickly, even moderately quickly, $500 million a second, so we need more churches. What a fun town. We have like 400 million houses, 800 taverns, a few bakeries, butcheries. Everyone just sits around eating and drinking, and there's a lot of people. Since we got another $13 billion, it's time for another house raid. Our civilization is so great, why would we not add more people to it? Do you think people like being tossed into the air in town or back there in the trees? A ferocious dragon has nested near a vital trade route, causing fear. We've done this one before. We're going to have the dragon tamer come in, and then we're going to get another dragon. That's an extra 1% per second. These bonuses are starting to add up. We'll celebrate with some churches. $217 million per click. The numbers are getting so big so quickly. So let's see if we can get that over 300, which you should easily up. 325. So every 3 clicks is $1 billion. So I really gotta keep on the clicking pressure at this point. Soon enough, actually right now, we'll be able to afford our first farm. This adds 1 billion per second. So 7 times the earnings. Now look at that money go up. $1 billion every second, even quicker, and we don't even have to click anymore, but we're going to. I love how fast the upgrades pay for themselves. More farms. The farms are nice because they're so big, we really can pick them out of the crowd. $3 billion a second. Oh, the mine went again. The miners have come across the thing. The right tunnel was actually the wrong one, so they're going left this time. The mine landed over here, now we get plus 3% per click, which is an absurd amount of money at this point. So more farms it is. Those 2 or 3 farms we just bought put us up to $6 billion a second. They do cost $60 billion each, now $70 billion each, so they're definitely getting a little expensive, but they're getting into the foreground, and the earnings are starting to feel pretty good. $10 billion a second. So we're going to do what any wise person would do and spend $170 billion on houses, just to watch them rain from the sky. Then again, what would really put this town over the top is spending $200 billion on taverns. We're gonna have like 1 tavern for every house. That way everyone gets to drink. It's gonna be really, really encouraged at this point. 140 taverns. So we actually have almost 2 people per 1 tavern in my world. Basically, half the people work at the tavern while the other half drink at the tavern. We have the goblin settlement again. We're going to train warriors. They're going to deal with them, and that's going to give us some kind of bonus, 3% per click. And while we're dealing with them, we hit the money we needed for a guard tower, 440 billion. But that's going to add 10 billion per second. Or per click, rather. Look at all of our money. We're making 500 billion per second, if I'm seeing this correctly. The numbers are getting hard to read because they're going quickly. Whatever the case, I'm buying more guard towers. Look at how much we get per click. I don't know what we need guard towers for. Everyone's just drunk all the time anyway. I don't think anyone would even notice if we got invaded. Well, we're up to 91 billion per click. And with that, we're at 102 billion per click. 10 clicks is $1 trillion. Library, those aren't important. Those cost 5,500 billion, so $5.5 trillion for a library. But that also adds $26 billion a second, so that was also massive earnings for us. And even when we were talking about how massive that was, we can afford another one. And I'm pretty sure it's going to do the same thing again very shortly. Just like that, another one, $85 billion per second. But the clicking is actually doing a lot more for us at this point. We found the old runes again, so we're just gonna let it be because that was the ghost thing again. That one gives 1% total, so it's also counteracting the ghosts. More guard towers. $172 billion per click. We buy, wow, actually a lot of those. $220 billion per click. Basically 4 clicks for a $1 trillion. 4 clicks per trillion. We can get the numbers to get really big in this. I think I would actually read some out too. So I'm pretty sure if we buy these, it'll be, less than 3 clicks for $1 trillion. So while we're at it, we need some more libraries. We just bought a whole bunch of those. So $200 billion a second in the background. I don't know where we're making several $1 trillion per second at this point. But it looks like it's going to cost 45 trillion for the guild hall, which actually we've almost made already. So that's going to add 700 billion per click. So that's several times my current earnings anyway. So we're earning $1.15 trillion per click. The goblins showed up, cleared them out, killed them, whatever. That gave us 2% per second. Look at all this money. These numbers are getting stupidly big. So we need more guild halls. And we earned that back like almost instantly, especially if we use an auto clicker. Guild hall, auto clicker, guild hall, auto clicker, and guild hall, auto clicker. $8.3 trillion per click, and we can just keep buying guild halls if we want to. Now we're at 11. Okay, that's going up. $11.5 trillion per click. So we have $233 trillion. Let's add some watchtowers. These are still reasonably inexpensive, so we should be able to make it rain those for a second. The game's gonna love this so much. But now the city's very safe, which is ironic because the most dangerous thing in a city is me. Oh, we can afford the castle already. With our $642 trillion, one castle's gonna add $1.4 trillion per second. And then we need more guild halls for our clicking power because that's really the big earner right now. We're gonna ask our wizards to fight the wizards again. We fight fire with fire. We buy more guild halls. $17 trillion per second. More guild halls. More guild halls again. We should probably buy another castle. You know what we're going to? That's going to put our earnings up to $3 trillion a second, we'll call it, just to make it nice and even. Pretty sure if we buy enough of the guild halls, they pretty much pay for themselves within like a few seconds. I'm pretty sure we have to click less than 10 times. Maybe a little over 10 times to afford another guild hall. That's also not factoring in just our passive income as well, which seems to be getting pretty high. We're even into the quadrillions of dollars. 1.2 quadrillion. So let's buy another 5 levels of guild halls so our earnings go up even higher. And then castles from level 2 all the way up to level 5. That put our earnings, that's $7 trillion per second. Clicking still does way more, but both are going to add up over time. I accidentally just made a choice on something. And we got the flourishing can. I wonder how big the numbers can get before the game is going to break. Especially with an auto clicker. I can't be loving that. So I think that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to leave an auto clicker going right about here. That way we can make choices and let the game run till something lights on fire, presumably. Okay, we did get another beanstalk out of that that's right in the middle of our town. I feel like if I let this go for long enough, we're going to be overrun with beanstalks. But let's see if my auto choice thing actually works. Level 18. Level 19, we made a choice. Okay, see you in 12 hours. My town definitely got a little busier overnight. Look at all the beanstalks we have. And on top of all of our many buildings, 4.17 quintillion sacrifices. And we're currently getting $54 trillion per click. So if we spend all of this money in a guild hall, that takes us up to $227 trillion per click, which feels like a pretty fun and adequate amount of money. So let's do the same with the castle. We're currently making 5.7 trillion. That went up to 40 trillion. So even just manually clicking, we're making over $1 quadrillion every single second. So we'll come back to this in 100 years and laugh hysterically.